I hate these websites. I genuinely do. I genuinely get do. Ugh. Squeak. All right. We're back. We're live, right? Are we live? I don't even know. I just spend all my time plugging in a cord and plugging it out again. All right,
It
Chet.
looks like
Yes,
you are.
We're live for
we
the
are.
moment. Ugh. Stupid little piece of crap thing in my computer. All right, so welcome to a surprise fireside chat. Oh, surprise. Today we're going to be talking about some breaking news. I was thinking about waiting till Monday, but it's actually breaking, and it's honestly one of those things that, fuck, I just don't want to do this on Monday, so I just want to get it done today. So we're going to cover it now. So, first things first, the elephant in the room, we're going to leave it there to let it stew for a moment. I'm just going to go through Shmormu stuff. Actually, you know what? Let's start with this one, because let's start small and work our way up to the big breaking thing. So, this was news from Bendio that he actually brought me about Negoshi's Gang of Dragon may never come out after NetEase cut funding when it realized an extra $44 million was needed to finish the game. And now his studio may have to shut down. Yakuza creator Toshiro Nagoshi's new game is now in doubt after investor NetEase warned his studio that it plans to cut off funding. Gang of Dragon was meant to be the debut game of the Nagoshi studio. The developer formed Nagoshi back in 2022 under NetEase after he departed Ryo Gatoku a year earlier. Perhaps unsurprisingly, it looks an awful lot like Yakuza because, he just wanted to make his other game, but, this time under his own thing. But apparently the Chinese corporation that is NetEase wants to pull their funding. They found out that it was super expensive and they're just not interested in continuing funding the game. Now, this isn't a particularly big surprise. It's also one of those things that's kind of sketchy, to be real with you. Like, if you're going to get a funding and you're going to get outside funding, the first person to not go to on your list of things should be people like NetEase or any of those Chinese companies in general.
Any
Mostly,
company that has a very particular, or a well-known, like, particular viewpoint.
yes,
Yeah.
because NetEase is one of those companies that's quite notorious for low quality things, in my opinion. And they usually just have these I don't know how to put it. Like, it's like cheap. Their games feel cheap. They look on the surface like they're expensive and fancy, but like they're kind of like hollow, like cardboard. And yeah, so they found out that this game is gonna be like 44 million more bucks, and we're like, nope, we're done, we're done, we're not gonna do that. We don't want to fund this kind of big blockbuster style game because 44 million bucks. I don't know if how much they funded of it thus far, but it's a decent chunk of change, honestly, to fund something like that. So yeah, he's gonna be in a bit of a dire strait because he's gonna need to now go and find Toshiro's gonna need to go and find or Toshihiro, butchering his name, but he's gonna need to go actually find somebody who can actually back his game because there's not a lot of big AAAs out there with the financial power to do that might be willing to pick up a 44 million slack. Like, you could try to go to the West like Ubisoft, but Ubisoft's kind of like in dire straits. So I don't think they're gonna fork over anything. They're also owned by Tencent. He could also alternatively go to Tencent instead of NetEase, another Chinese company trading one master for another. He could go back to Sega because Yakuza was owned by Sega, but that would be kind of redundant, and I don't think they'd do that because it'd be like competing with themselves. I see it as unlikely. Konami, perhaps, but 44 million bucks for Konami seems like a big stretch. You could reach out to Capcom, I suppose. EA ain't doing it. I'm almost assured. And you wouldn't want it because it's going to be tackled with all sorts of nasty shit. Absolute nasty stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think if I'm going to be brutally honest here, I think this project might be really fucked unless he gets private investors to step in. If he can sell the concept of the game. Now here's the concept of the game thus far. It is on Steam, you can look at it now. It's developed and now published by Nagoshi Studio Inc. It's an indie game for the time being, but it's an indie game that doesn't have the resources to develop itself. That's quite that's quite visceral right there. Yeah. Trying to stop a blade with his hands. But it looks big budget as fuck, like Grand Theft Auto levels. Very polished, even in this cutscene.
Hey, Daiki, when'd you make it back?
Excuse me, sir. Shut your mouth.
All right, talk soon.
On your feet, now.
He just grabs his gun. Guess he was never gonna pull the trigger.
Son of a... Fuck it. Just kill him.
Fucking
Oof.
shot him right in the schnoggin.
I'm definitely seeing why people are saying it's like Yakuza.
Looks like a more serious game comparatively, though. At least from this trailer.
The character gave me a better initial impression than the Yakuza games.
No, because the Yakuza games are over the top.
Yeah.
So you got some fighting
I mean,
going
to be fair,
on
this
here.
game kind of looks like it too, but in a
I
different
think it's
way.
isn't it the Yakuza creator directing this?
There's a fucking minigun. Yes, it is. Toshira, or whatever how you pronounce his name. Cars and stuff. I remember cars being a big thing in the other one. Is this the second trailer? No, this is the same one. So yeah, that's pretty much it that they have to show for. An action adventure set in Kabukicho, the iconic nightlife district of Shinjuku. I'm butchering the crap out of this crap. Tokyo. Shinji Seong, portrayed by renowned Asian actor Madong Seok. I'll pronounce that. Is a high-ranking member of a Korean crime syndicate based in Kabukicho. As he explored the streets of Shinjuku, Shin becomes entangled in underworld conflicts and forges intense human connections that push him to confront his own sense of purpose. Combat unfolds from a third-person perspective, centered on Shin's overwhelming physical power. Engage enemies through brutal hand-to-hand strikes, precise blade attacks, gunplay, and high-impact vehicle action across the city. Forge your own path through a story where violence and human bonds intertwine. So yeah, that was the intent, the idea of this game, right? But it's now basically looking like it's in a very tough spot. It's not to say this game's a complete wash yet, as there is stuff to show to investors here, because he's going to be relying on investors if he needs to pull $44 million. I don't know how much money that guy's sitting on himself, but that's quite the ask for someone to invest in their own project. So yeah, bit unlikely for this game to actually be realized, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts on the matter?
Not without it being sold to some sort of larger publishing house and significantly changed, because that's what larger publishing houses will do, right? Because they want to appeal to the largest market share they possibly can.
Yep.
Yes, and on the private investor point, if you look at data of how much the money thrown at projects like this has dried up significantly, the amount of private investment, unless you know somebody, not entirely impossible for someone for a long time creator that's actually delivered results for a long time, but it's gonna be very unlikely, or I don't know, if not
Pretty much
unlikely.
stuff that's not like FIFA or like a sports game, right? They're not
'Cause-
really going to get that type of funding easily.
And
Because
this
right
is
now there's so
centered around
much
Korean
competition.
crime mafia type thing, right?
Yes.
No, it's Tokyo.
Does it say Tokyo?
Tokyo? I thought it was a Korean syndicate. Oh, there it is.
But yeah, it says right there in the
Yeah,
description.
Tokyo, top right.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, something like this just won't appeal to anyone outside of Japan and like hyper weebs. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean people that like genuinely are obsessed with Japanese culture. And it's a surprise NetEase even back this, to be honest.
Well,
I'm
Yakuza
not
makes money
entirely
decently.
unsurprised.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes,
say
but
Yakuza,
the thing
Yakuza
is,
does have a following, but it's like it's a cult following. It's not a
yes,
big following.
Yeah.
it's
We
not
see
like a
that in
huge
the
return
Sega
on
investor
investment.
reports. Yeah, the Sega investor reports are pretty open, and they actually some of the data actually leaked, and it competing with a niche that's so entrenched as Yakuza is really hard unless you have some unique appeal, of which
Mhm.
taking away the comedic effect of Yakuza and going for a more serious one does, in theory, bring the potential to appeal to the non-hyper weeb crowd that might be interested in a crime syndicate game like this. But since it's clearly Yakuza, that does what's what I'm thinking of. That is going to come with some stereotypes of what do people like and not like, and trying to convince people to try it. Unless you have a demo or something for people to get a hand on that really makes people's minds blow, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually it takes
But,
time to grow a market like that, to grow a niche market like this. It takes a lot of time and effort, and while Yakuza has, I don't think it's grown to the point where competition is possible
No,
yet.
so it's not even the Yakuza, right? Because they've carved out their own niche because it doesn't have the Yakuza name.
That
Even
too.
even if it has the similar gameplay done by the same director, it's not Yakuza. So some people just won't even bother.
Yeah.
That's just a simple fact.
From what I've heard, the Yakuza series, I don't know if Like a Dragon is like a spin-off on it or like a continuation. But this feels way more grounded than Like a Dragon from what I've seen. And
feels more
I know
gritty.
yeah, more gritty, yeah. And if I remember correctly, like the Yakuza series was over the top, but it had its serious moments, and I think people might enjoy the like going back to that basically. But with no funding, yeah,
I guess the thing to take away from it is don't get in bed with Chinese companies.
yeah,
Literally, because remember that whiteboard or chalkboard thing we did a long time ago? This is just yet another casualty of that. It's like Tencent and NetEase are just killing very promising indie projects that are a risk but are worth taking. But guess what? This is not the West or Japan we're talking about. These are Chinese investors and CCP investors. Let's be realistic here. CCP investors, and we all know how much of snakes a CCP is.
yes,
Yep. On the bright side, if he picks up a different investor, that actually is going to be meaning that there might be less underhanded stuff going on, but it's going to be entirely down to who. If it was something like EA, it'd be a hogwash. Like the whole game's just going to be garbage.
No.
yeah.
That's a non-starter, and
I don't
again,
know. I can
a lot of the
I can
risky. Yeah, a lot of money's dried up. So much of it. We're down to at pre-COVID levels, or even lower than that if you're talking private funds.
yeah.
Nope.
I can one name you mentioned. I don't know. I can kind of see Capcom maybe.
Capcom has the money.
Yeah, but is
Like,
Capcom willing to do that?
That's the big thing. Yeah,
that's the
because
thing.
Willing to take the risk of that.
because
The two
Yakuza's
big
Sega's
publishers
yeah.
in Japan are Capcom and Square Enix, and even Square Enix is kind of getting
Squeenix would be bad. That's why I'm
video
saying
game
Capcom.
industry.
Square Enix will be
Square Enix-
bad. Yes.
Capcom does some really cringe shit sometimes, but like all in all, they're not the worst. Like Squeenix has kind of gone tits up lately.
They've been, except for Final Fantasy, they've been really struggling, and I still remember
even
that
Final Fantasy, like regrettably,
Final
Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy Online, like The last Final Fantasy Online expansion was truly like terrible.
People were not happy.
Most of the friends I
Yeah.
have that played Final Fantasy Online all stopped playing because apparently the expansion was hyper cringe from various things I
Yeah,
came
I
across on
remember.
YouTube.
I remember some activist investors released a 100-page present or something like a 100-slide presentation just slamming Square Enix, showing, here's what you're doing wrong, here's your mismanagement, here's the numbers. WTF, Square Enix? What is wrong with you people?
Yeah. The thing is, Final Fantasy 16.
It would be hilarious,
Um,
Plague, if they did, if Sega published it, because like he went away from Sega just to crawl back.
Yeah.
I doubt it. It would be funny, but doubt. Capcom is the most probable if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
BBTDL.
Because Capcom is doing well.
Oh, hold on a sec. BBT LTD 8081 has been a member for 31 months as a bubble coach. Thank you for long-term support. He says, "Is Kib Pickle Kib? Why are you green? Sad to see this falling over. I dig the concept and a more serious game, if done well. FF games are all lame now." Yeah, Final Fantasy kind of like sadly, it's sort of like in a situation where it isn't really able to keep going. Is what I
Yeah.
think is the reality. Like they finally hit rock's end, and I think Squeenix's bad decisions have basically finally started to really catch up to them. Like,
Yeah.
and it's been that way for a while. Like Square Enix has not been a particularly great publisher, from what I understand either.
Mm.
Their decision making, I only know somewhat about them. It's because I was a fan of some of their Western studio IPs like Thief, Legacy of Kain, Deus Ex, that one Deus Ex game they published I did like, and they sold it off to Embracer Group for pennies. And I was just
Yeah.
looking at this going, you sold what for? How much now?
But overall, like the concept of this game is interesting. I think if they're able to take it to another publishing house, they might be able to salvage it. The problem is most big publishing housings right now are either restructuring or not taking on new IPs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because just it seems across the board, AAA not doing too good.
No, they're not.
Yep.
They're really not. A lot of them are doubling down on established IPs, and whenever they do experiment, because of the structure of AAA, they've just been face to concrete failing in many of their attempts.
Mm-hmm. But I think that wraps up Gang of the Dragon, which might, I mean, we'll find out, I guess, next if they, keep going or they give
Hope
up.
Hope for the best. That's my take. Hope for the best.
HD remake of Legend of Dragoon. It'd be too derpy.
Never.
That would be funny. They would never make that because that game makes fun of that girl so bad. Like, oh my god, the female character you'd think be like, oh, that's gonna be like the love interest or something. No. She's literally just made fun of I think the entire game, the little one I played. And it's just a bromance.
And they would make it way too they would make it very gay for no reason.
See, but yeah, he's actually gay now. It's not a bromance.
Yeah. Instead of it just being derpy, they'd ruin it.
So, we have something disturbing happening here, chat. This is huge news. Colossal, actually. Sony's PlayStation Store has been testing dynamic pricing on games. Regions around the world have been part of an experiment that displays differing prices for the same PlayStation 5 games. Unless a video game is on sale, you probably expect to pay the same as anyone else for a brand new game. But it seems that Sony is testing the waters for a system on the PlayStation Store that will display varying prices for the same product to different people. The PlayStation maker also appears to be testing personalized sales that will show discounts tailored to the users viewing them. This is genuinely horrifying, by the way. Dynamic pricing. Hold on, we'll finish this so that we'll let the whole article speak, and then we'll delve into it. Dynamic pricing is a revenue model where a company will switch up the cost of any item for different users. This means by increasing the prices for people that will probably spend more. These changes are dependent on a variety of factors. your purchase history, your data, location, inventory, demand of that said project, the time of day, weather, and your income level. Though controversial, dynamic pricing has seen a surge in a variety of industries from grocery stores to the housing market. The price discrepancies can have a wide range, or they can be minor depending on the industry. But even if it is a matter of a few cents, companies who use pricing models like this bank on long term benefits of extracting more money from a wide pool of customers. Dynamic pricing does not inherently mean the consumer will pay more, but it also doesn't inherently mean it won't. Sometimes the cost tweak actually creates a bargain, but only sometimes. So, dynamic pricing will basically be the equivalent of. Here's a great example. So, if Chatfish donates $5 to me, and it has $5 of value, right? Because it's $5. However, Chatfish 2 donates $5 as well. Well, Chatfish 2, you donate usually $10, so your $5 is worth less than the other guy. But it's the same, it's $5. I don't care. I know you have more money, therefore I want more from you. That's what that basically is. It's like the equivalent of doing something like that. Can you imagine?
You know what's also
Can
funny?
you imagine?
They make the argument that it's like grocery stores and housing markets are the things trying this, or the industries trying, and there it's like, yeah, but maybe games are going to be the same. So you know what the differences between groceries and like a place to live? Those are slightly more essential than video games.
Yeah.
Also, grocery stores is what they use. If
Grocery stores have some of the like worst profit margins out of any industry.
yeah,
the thing
it's
with
quite
the,
easy to go from one store to another, depending on location. But it is quite easy to go to another grocery store and just to check
Oh
prices
yeah,
or get
and
better
like
deals.
at that point, it's like if you're living in a big city, like you'll notice a massive price between. I'll just use Target, right? There's the poor Target, and then there's the rich people's Target. And if you go to both those Targets, you notice the same product will cost different things because they know their clientele in those areas. That's the only like thing that would be close to this, but it's like it's still even then. Video games are a luxury.
Yeah.
They can say that this. I'm willing to say this will probably work to a certain degree, but I don't think it's going to give them the revenue they're wanting.
Yeah, no, and this is one of the worst things PlayStation could be experimenting on right now. Because if I were to say buy meat, there are 4 or 5 places I could check for prices within my area. The competition for it means I can at least, unless they're all using the same supplier, I can easily go to another store for a better deal. It's not that hard. It's like for PlayStation, we all know why they're doing it. They're going to try and squeeze more money out of the whales. That is what their goal is. They're going to try and identify the whales and squeeze more money out of them. The problem is that this will only work if they can lock people and grow the PlayStation ecosystem, and it's not growing. The consoles are behind the previous generation's sales,
No,
and
just
people are just,
general. It's not even
yeah,
consoles.
yeah. Because PC is still growing, and the only console that's still selling well is the Switch 2. Xbox is not as a non-competitor these days, but that's
No,
self-inflicted.
Microsoft is basically killed off its gamies pretty much for all practical
Yeah.
purposes.
So anytime in an industry someone providing a service starts to restrict or try to dynamically modulate prices based on income levels, it's the sign of a dying company. It's their customer base has shrunk to such a degree they're trying to find different ways to lock in customers, and in this case it's twofold. They're doing this to try to get people to stay in their ecosystem, which no one wants to at this point because, well, look at the sales of the PlayStation and they have no games. And it's them also getting more and more data to sell and make another revenue stream off of. It's just more evidence that Sony is slowly degrading more and more. At least the PlayStation side of Sony is.
And there's a lot of evidence. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Them comparing this to like groceries or housing is frankly ignorant.
It's Polygon.
Dynamic pricing in
Yeah.
housing
I
is
can guarantee you, it's not that they're ignorant. They're intentionally trying to compare themselves to more essential commodity or
Okay,
not
so
commodities,
real quickly,
essential
let me just cut
products.
to the chase. So we're reading an article from Polygon, which is an industry mouthpiece. They're literally bought and paid for. They're sellouts.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
Like I
them
know,
comparing.
but the reality is that anything we read like here is obviously going to be biased. It always is. You can't trust it. It's propaganda. But the big thing is that's why you notice them soften the blow. Like it could increase prices, but it could also mean great bargain. Yeah, that whole verbiage is literally
No.
just
For like
No.
1% of the player base,
that
if that.
what they're really interested in is the people who avidly use their stuff and increasing the price for them so that they can milk them for more money. Because they couldn't get $80 games. $80 games failed and continue to fail. And so now they're trying to do this. And Sony has no games. Sony is like literally a dumpster fire company. Like they're trash. They're shit. Like what have they done that's good? Nothing. But Helldivers 2, yeah, is good in spite of
That's second
Sony.
party.
Sony almost killed their game, and it's not even a first party game, it's a second party game. It's not even their game.
Which unexpectedly blew up.
It only
Yeah.
blew up because
no, I think
Arrowhead
Sony
had
owns
skill.
IP.
Yeah, they own the IP. You're absolutely right. But it's by a second party developer, meaning the developer isn't part of them. It's not one of their subsidiary developers. It's like Microsoft having 343 do a first party game because it's, it's 343. They're owned by Microsoft. Adverse to Arrowhead, who is just Swedish, and they have their
They
own
tried killing
problems.
Stellar Blade 2. Yeah, but so did the developer with their stupid comments.
The developers, oh my god, the developer is one of those. Well, he's a corporate bootlicker, because that was the same developer who was along the lines of like lapping up the boot of like $70 games. It's like, oh my fucking.
It's how you know it's a premium game. It has a premium price.
It's like
Yeah.
that's not
Nonsense.
what that means. That's nonsensical. Like that's bullshit. The premium price. I don't want my game not to be primo. Like if I release a game and I charge $70, that doesn't make the game magically better. It just doesn't. It doesn't do that. We already know that from playing $70 games ourselves. Like I played Doom Dark Ages. It was fun. It's not worth $70. I played
Yeah,
Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. It's fun. I like it. I would recommend both games on a steep discount and not on anything else because they're not worth it. They're just not worth it. Indiana Jones: Great Circle is long and lots of good content. It's pretty faithful to the setting, but it's worth like $40. That's the reality. It's worth 40. Like Doom Dark Ages, $40. It's worth $40. It's not worth 70. It's fun. It's a romp to get through. The story's got problems, but it's fun. It's actiony. $40. Not 70, not 60, not even 50. 40. 40 is like the only price that's really reasonable for a lot of these games. But the problem is they're not content with just even maintaining the status quo of the $60 era, right? They want to push that envelope further to 70, and then 80, then 90, then to 100. And people will come and defend this, and they will talk about the past, and be like, because I have games with stickers that say $80 on them. But you know what? The reason why they were that way? It was because, again, the industry wasn't well established and defined. The developers and the big thing is back then, they were having a hard time pushing those copies. And what happened when copies were sold for cheaper and less? They sold more because they became more affordable. And the whole thing about the industry becoming digital like it is now, again, mentioned the fact that AAA industry was basically along the lines of games will be cheaper because they won't have physical copies anymore. So there's no boxes, there's no physical media. Because think about that, right? They had to make the code, get the code printed on a disc, get the disc with the sticker slapped on top because they paint over the disc, right? With that little print thing. And then put the disc in a box, then print out a manual, assemble the manual, staple it together, slip it into the box, then wrap the box up in plastic. And then put it into a bigger box, load it onto a truck, ship it to a store, put it on a shelf, let it sit there until it's eventually bought up. That whole thing I just mentioned, all that logistics, is gone now. Doesn't exist for most games. Now it's click on Steam, open it up, click upload your game, and then you're done. And now your game can be redistributed to hundreds of thousands to possibly millions of people. That is how simple it is.
Yeah, and Sony clearly doesn't want to let that go. They really don't want to let that old model go and really want to push the, hey, our premium quote unquote movie games are worth $100. I'm just throwing that out there because we all know they love to charge it. There's just so much evidence from Morty's point of a dying company as another point of evidence. Look what happened when they started porting most of their first party games like God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man to Steam. Only Spider-Man Remaster was one of the, I think the only one that really did well. Everything else didn't sell well because people looked at the price, looked at the comparisons, and went, your competitors just offer so much more than the trash you provide, Sony. It's really that simple. Too much money, not enough quality.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and they think somehow that isolating themselves from the rest of the industry when the trend is no, and it's such exclusive nonsense, people don't like it anymore. Gamers are now more uniting as one gamer community, with the exception being Nintendo, and even then, a lot of the Nintendo people are more and more going out of their bubble, at least from what I've seen. It's like Sony is just ignorant. I don't even know if I can say malice, because usually I set a high bar for that for a reason, but this is definitely some monumental ignorance on Sony's part. It is honestly so baffling.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, Sony's not just doing this either. Like, here's the next article, because again, like I said, Sony is doubling down. Now, this was, again, last month. We mentioned it briefly, but it's very important because this is going to affect a lot of things. And this basically is them restarting the console war. But here's the funny part. The war's
There's
over.
no war.
Like, they can try to restart it, but Microsoft dipped out. Like,
Yeah,
you're
'cause
not really competing with Nintendo, because Nintendo has their own, like, they're on a different field altogether.
Yeah, Nintendo, for better or worse, has one of the most insular markets, and they've built that up over years.
Sony doesn't have an insular market. They can't do what Nintendo is. But being the Japanese company that they are, they're following the same Japanese principles that Nintendo is doing. Which, again, hyper isolation, hyper disconnected, do not listen to feedback, do not listen to the fans, do not listen to critique. Very standard Japanese corporate practice. So, console is where they want to be. Reports indicate Sony is pulling away from PC for single player PlayStation games. Now, bear in mind this is just explicitly for their single player games, as stated here. Sony is reportedly pulling away from PC when it comes to single player PlayStation games, so not games like Helldivers, to focus more on console exclusivity. Various comments from credible sources, including Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier and Digital Foundry's John Lineman, indicates PC has become less important for Sony, and that single-player PlayStation exclusives may remain just that. Speaking on the Triple Click podcast, Schreier indicated that Sony will continue to release its live service games on PC as well as PlayStation. But the sense I'm getting is that they're backing away from putting their exclusive consoles, stuff like traditional single-player stuff, on PC. Schreier pointed to Insomniac's Wolverine due out on PS5 exclusively this September, which he suggested may never come to PC. So yeah, essentially here there's a lot of indicators that from Sony that they want to basically pull off of the PC platform. Now, why would they do that? Sony and a lot of people claim that it's financially due to the fact that their games don't do well on PC, right? Well, here's a game that's technically under their umbrella of IPs they own, and it is on PC. It was released only about 2 years ago and sells like fucking hotcakes, as 11,000 recent reviews. It's at mostly positive, at 79 to 78% positive. It's slowly recovering, from the massive dip that happened from that drama that Sony did with the whole Sony PSN network thing. It's almost at a total of 1 million reviews and is on trajectory to reach that in about a year's time, based on its current trajectory.
Just for let's look at other examples. Click on PlayStation Publish. Let's look at their other stuff.
So
to
yeah.
see how many reviews there are.
So when it comes to that, that's how well that's doing, right? Now, Death Stranding 2 is a game that is not out.
Is not
I don't know
out
why I
yet.
clicked on that. I meant to click on Death Stranding 1. I didn't. Fucking Christ.
Look,
Let me just
Under
scroll
license.
down. I meant to go
I would
for.
suggest looking at.
There we go. New releases.
God of Boy.
I know, but I'm going to look at new releases because it's going to be in chronological order of the recent things. So, here's one Sony game that released recently. So this is why, right? Because recently, most recently, 2025, August 28th, this game released Lost Soul Aside, developed by Alta Zero. Okay, I misread that. Alta Zero Games. And was published by PlayStation. It's not being particularly well received and looks like its sales have flatlined. It's looking like whatever this is, and I didn't even know about this until today, it looks like this is a dud. So that was about a year ago. Dud right there. Next game published by Sony. Definitely a dud at 285 reviews. If this is published by PlayStation, like this is abysmal performance-wise. I can't believe they published this. This doesn't even look like a PlayStation published game. That's wild.
How much is it?
It looks like an indie game that was picked up by a AAA publisher.
It's $10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah, it's one of those. Okay, that's probably that. Okay, let's look at more big budget. Here we have the Stellar
That's a
Blade.
big game.
That was the most more larger title in recent years. Published in June 11th, 2025. It has 1.4K reviews recently and stands at a total of 54,270 reviews right
A good
now.
number.
Yep.
Now that's technically second party, like Helldivers.
Yep,
remember
second
right.
party, developed by Shift Up
because you can see
Corporation.
Shift Up.
So yeah, this is again another game that's, I mean, it's not selling bad. In fact, it's selling pretty well for what it is. It's a single player game, not particularly high budget. Honestly, not very high resource. I would almost call it a AA game if it wasn't for PlayStation being involved. From just looking at the gameplay and the overall stuff that I've seen of it. It looks good, but it doesn't look like AAA quality. But here's the thing, right? That doesn't really matter. It turned a huge profit. The other question we have to ask ourselves is, after that, we have a game that might give us a more clear indicator of why they think the way they do, right? So, a little bit before then, comes a game that sold about half as well as Stellar Blade. Comes The Last of Us Part 2, which stands at a
Remastered.
whopping 28,464. I know, but I don't think the original's even on PC. I think it's only this one.
No. I just want to point out, by the way, there was no reason to remaster this game.
No.
It came out like a couple years ago. I don't see why they would felt the need to
The only
digitally remaster.
Only thing I can think of is that
Try to get people to buy it again so that
Naughty
it
Dog,
generates
and by that I
sales.
mean Neil Druckmann, basically pushed for it to be remastered.
It's
Yeah,
the
it came out 2020.
yeah, because they wanted to re-release it on their other console. PC, excuse me. Their game is so bad it's making me yawn. Fucking the big thing is that yeah, it's just one of those what gameplay modes like the roguelike survival experience, no return. Oh my god, what? I didn't even know they added shit like that. Wow, they're really desperate. All right, interesting. But yeah, so yeah, this game performed abysmally. This game was actually a dud. So there's one AAA big backed game as a dud. Oh, here we have another one, Spider-Man 2. Only 24,000 reviews. Dud.
Even less.
So
and that
we-
was a expensive one. It's like that work would not
Yeah.
have been easy.
And that's from Insomniac
me.
Games. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the big thing, I think the big indicators is that this game was also a flop, right? This game did well, but these are two flops here. Make it 3. Jesus Christ. Make it 4. Horizon Zero Dawn's also not good. Make it 5. Make it 6.
Actually, here's Horizon Zero Dawn, the original version.
Yeah, for
Did
PC.
very, very well. Not for PC, though. So
Okay, because the remaster
it
didn't
was
do
mod.
particularly
Become
well.
a self reminder.
Thank you for the support.
Yep.
Don't forget to send a
Yeah,
receipt to me and get
unironically,
access to the
Horizon-
Chamber of Secrets.
Horizon was a flash in the pan. People talked about it so much before its release, but after it came out, fucking
Crickets.
radio silence.
The
Yep.
first game, it was a cute idea, but
No,
it
no,
was just that.
I watched someone go through the entire game. Its story makes no fucking sense.
So the
and it
gameplay is
just sequel-based.
Ubislop. It's literally just go from area to
Yes.
area. Like they
Yeah.
just
Were it not
copied
for
that
the
design.
robot creatures, the game would have completely flopped immediately.
And even then, once you get into the game, it's like, eh.
It's incredibly shallow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unironically, they showed you the most interesting dinosaurs in the fucking trailer.
So when you look at their games, right, it's very
Much as God of War.
like Ghost of Tsushima, which was again a bit Ubislop, completely plasters Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, even the one that preceded it. Yeah, so Ghost of Tsushima, I played this. This one is definitely a Ubislop game, is what I'd say. It's like open slop. But Ghost of Tsushima was fun, though it outstays its welcome. After playing it for like, how many hours? Because I have it on log.
Rated M.
After 13 hours, I basically put it down. I'm like, I don't want to touch this game ever again. Because like I'm bored of it. But like for the first, I think 4 or like 5 hours, it's novel. If you're new to like open world games, you might like this a lot if you're new to the gaming industry or games as a whole. Try, because you've probably never played something like this, and it'll be like really refreshing for you. But if you played a lot of open world games, and I played almost all of them, I am so burnt out of that genre that I never want to like. I play them for a little bit, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to grind my ass off waddling from like region to region to grab collectibles in a giant world that's mostly empty. Now I will say Ghost of Tsushima is actually very artistic and very pretty. But like, yeah, it even trounced God of War Ragnarok. Damn, fucking obliterated it. Almost
God of
double.
War, Ragnarok.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima just kind of is like the only single player game here in recent years that seems to have done good besides Stellar
Stellar
Blade.
Blade. Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah,
these
if
are
you keep throwing
huge
down-
gaps between them, though.
Yeah, no, the point being, their single player stuff they put out on a single hand, you can count how many like at least like minor successes they've had.
Yeah. Because the only one that's particularly like a blowout success is Helldivers 2. At 805,000 reviews. This Ratchet and Clank game, again, kind of a dud, 10,000. For AAA,
Now,
yeah. Last of Us Part 1, successful. 59,000 for an old game by our
and
standards.
mind you, they're also all ports. Like all these games
Yes.
were released far before they were released on PC. So them saying that they're losing out money by porting the games is
They're not
they're
losing out.
lying.
Yeah, they're lying.
I think they're unironically just don't want to bother with the PC market because they would rather just
They don't want to show that there's a platform that outsells their console.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
their own
here,
games.
here you've got
they're
2
going
big
into
smash
a-
hits. The God of War reboot, despite my personal dislike of it, is overwhelmingly positive at 123,000 reviews, and the re-release of Days Gone as well, 79,000,
I think the
95,000.
Spider-Man remaster also did well.
Wait, where is it? I don't even see it.
They
Right
really
above
just
God
made
of
their
War.
maps over it, underneath Uncharted.
Yeah. You see where God of War is? Go up. It's literally right next to your cursor.
2 down.
Going down.
Games like I don't know, like underneath Uncharted.
You said Sackboy?
No,
No, Spider-Man
he's doing
remaster.
intentionally.
Oh, the
Chad.
Spider-Man. Sorry, I don't know why, but I thought you said Spyro, and I'm looking for like Spider. I'm like, I didn't know that
Like,
Sony owns
Spyro?
Spyro.
That's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, I was kind of baffled there. I was like, I didn't think they owned that.
Gibbs is smoking crack.
All right, apparently I am out of my fucking whack right now,
Put
Chatfishes.
the pipe down.
Vulpes put him in the straight jacket. He needs therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even through Discord's pixelated images, like 90,000 reviews, almost 91,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see as a later, and this is when you could still make an argument that there are still games worth looking at. But when you look at their later stuff, yeah, the decline is clear.
So from personal experience, from people I know in my neighborhood and everything, most of them have still the opinion of, oh, I buy a console and I just turn it on after work and just play a game and whatever. Yeah, the amount of people who still have that thing and still buy every time, buy the new PlayStation and buy FIFA every year, they wouldn't care if it costs 120 or dollars or whatever. They will still buy it just because it's a routine for them. But
Sure,
those are also
but
yeah,
here's the issue with that. That is the only game they're buying
yes,
that year.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what yeah. I just wanted to say the same thing. But that's like you said, it's only the one game they're playing and buying for that
So
year.
sure, it's like they can raise their prices. All that's going to encourage is people to buy the one game for that year.
Yes, yeah, instead of two.
Because
Man,
remember, most people that play games, they don't play that many a year.
So the other
Yeah.
thing is that psychologically speaking, if you price your product at a lower level and you have a lot of product, so let's say you have like a thing, right, that people want, and they'll buy it, and so that's set to like $60. People will buy it. You set it at $70.
Mhm.
People will buy it. You set it at $80. People will buy it, but there'll be fewer of them. But if you set it to $20 or $30, a lot of people will buy it. And if you have a second product that's also $20, $30, they'll buy that too. And now you've made about the same, but you have another product that you have. So you have three products. People will buy all three. They won't buy them maybe in one go, but they'll buy them more incrementally because there's a lot of cheap products that they can pick up. And they,
Mhm.
on the paper, right, on surface, when you look at it from a financial standpoint as an individual, oh yeah, I'm just paying for like a $14 a month sub for WoW. That's still kind of like a lot of money, right? But at the same time, it's not as egregious as buying a $80 game. So instead, you're like, yeah, I'll buy like these littler things because they're cheaper and I can get them for relatively cheap. So the big thing is if they just charge for lower amounts for their games across the board, they would also help with sales. Now, bear in mind that they did charge for lower amounts, like Last of Us Part 2 is $50. But we have to ask ourselves, well, okay, the price factor will only go to a certain thing because no matter how you price something, if it's absolutely bad quality, no one wants it, right? Nobody likes The Last of Us. It's just a bad franchise. It's a dead IP. It's not good. It's universally despised. It's
No,
besmirched.
the second one is. The first one,
The first one is
I
well
disagree
received.
that it's a. Yeah, I disagree that it's a good game, but people liked it. But the second one, completely shit on its legacy.
Yep. The second
Yeah.
one is considered universally to be bad, versus the first game is received by the general consensus being that it is a good and fun game. Hence why people are willing to buy it, hence why people like it, hence why I would be okay with playing Last of Us 1 again. Last of Us 1 isn't like offensive. It's a bit cliche, but it's not a terrible game.
The
It's just
first half is really good. Second half's okay.
yeah, it
And
sort
the
of falls off.
ending.
Father-daughter motif they have in the first one's actually really good.
Oh yeah, no. I can
Um,
understand the story beats for it, and I can understand why people really like it.
But Sony definitely doesn't have any actual like major IPs that they themselves control that are doing very well. They just don't. Like everything that's doing like stand out are all secondary studios that aren't actually owned by Sony.
Yeah, and they're doing well almost in spite of them, not because
Mhm.
of them.
Yeah, because
for
they
much
almost
lower budgets.
like
Like-
Helldivers still hasn't fully recovered from when Sony first did their first tanking of them by doing the PSN thing and the country bannings. Like it took a long
Which
time for Helldivers to recover from that. It took a
the
year and a half.
PSN might also be a reason why they're trying to focus more on their console because they can force the accounts.
Us,
Whereas they'll
this is something I
feel
was-
immediate backlash on PC.
This is something I was going to mention. Like, unironically, they're in a bunker mentality, just because, again, AAA not doing well. So instead of trying to be innovative, they're trying to just secure what they have and just hold it, and that's all they're doing.
it's a slow death is the reality
Yes,
too.
that correct. That is what it is.
Yep, because the big thing is when it comes down to it, when you look at it, right, it doesn't look particularly good for them. Because let's close our eyes for just but a moment and put yourself in Sony's position. You are in a position in which Nintendo has managed to isolate itself on its own unique market. Your biggest competitor, your biggest rival, Microsoft, has outplayed you. They're now all on PC. Their new system, the Project Helix, from all it sounds like at its current date at 3/8/2026 at the moment, it sounds like it's basically going to completely destroy PlayStation. Helix Project sounds like it's basically a system. For those who don't know, the Helix console, from what we know about it, can play Steam games, can play Xbox games, is just a gaming PC, and
Yeah, I was going to
Xbox
say
ceased to exist
unironically.
with Project Helix.
I want to say unironically that it sounds like they're just trying to make the most bare minimum, like just it is literally a game machine, not even necessarily like Xbox, but just a game machine. You play games on it. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to completely trounce the PlayStation because if it's just a PC, now we don't know exactly how its back end works, but if I can buy Helix and I can play Medieval 2 on it and I can mod Medieval 2 on it, it's already eclipsed everything else because I can play games from years ago on this machine. Not only can I play them on this machine, but it's basically like I can also mod them and do things that other consoles just can't do, right? Now, the PlayStation has to ask itself is why the fuck do I exist? Why am I even around? And the reality is when the executives look at this from their perspective, the answer is we shouldn't exist. The PlayStation director or CEO must be thinking to himself, I don't have a reason to exist anymore. Because he doesn't. Nor does their entire system, nor does their entire platform. It's dead. There's nowhere to go. So, how can you elongate that survival? How can you elongate to maybe buy time to do your own project to somehow survive? Doubling down is what they've chosen. Now, this isn't my opinion and what I would think would be the best route. But this is what they've chosen. Double down, lock everything down to PlayStation, what exclusivity we have, what purpose we have for being, and we're going to tie it to exclusivity until we can come up with a solution to switch our game plan later. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking that they're going to tie themselves to the console to die. I mean, they could be that stupid, but realistically, I would assume that Sony is basically at the point now where they're like, we're doing this as a stopgap measure as we've entered in production project Please Save Me or something. I don't know. Where it's like
Project Save Our Bacon.
Save Our Bacon. And Save Our Bacon is currently cooking, but it's super far behind the Helix project. Because maybe the Helix project completely took what the original PlayStation project was and they had to cancel it. Like, fuck, they're not continuing the console war. They're gonna surpass us and literally become better. Like, how the fuck do we compete with that? Well, we're gonna have to make our own Sony PC. All right, scrap that other thing, and Project Save Our Bacon is now in effect, and we just need to hold on until that day happens. So how do we hold on? We instead of like continuing to open up and put stuff on Steam, we lock everything down to PlayStation hard, and we hope to God that the sales alone on that insular market, even though it's not very secure, will keep us going long enough to bridge the gap to that new system. It's stupid, ultimately, in my opinion. It's incredibly dumb because the reality is that might only it's not gonna work. Actually, like it isn't. I'm trying to be like devil's advocate here, but like it's just I'd be lying to say it's gonna work. It just isn't gonna work. You're fucked. Like what you just did is you effectively lost PC sales from porting your game. Porting games costs basically nothing for these big guys, and if it generates the minimum amount of profit, pretty much, like it's probably turned a penny in a positive number. So like what they should do is they should double down on porting over everything. Like what Sony should do is, and this is my advice to them, take your entire backlog, all of God of War 1, Crash Bandicoot, every goddamn IP Twisted Metal, PlayStation 1 games, revitalize, set up a studio for cheap. That's entire goal is to revitalize PS2 games and just put them on Steam one after the other, starting with the most popular and most demanded games and focusing on that. Don't focus on the ones that were bad during that era. Focus entirely on the popular, what's sold the most, what's demanded the most, what has the most interest, and just pump out as many ported official games as you possibly can, and just crap them out as fast as you can, doing the bare minimum, and this is from a financial standpoint, to just make sure they work and run, and that's it. And then next one, boom, next one, boom. Do that and just keep doing that to try to generate slow trickling sales, because what that will do is like what I mentioned earlier with the $20 thing. You release these things, you re-release them for $15. $15 a game. It's super cheap. It's basically the price of a fucking combo meal at a fast food joint. So you can literally nostalgia buy people. You are basically baiting people with nostalgia, and that's what you're going to have to do here. And that's going to generate you enough trickling sales to help you limp by while you get your Sony PC functional. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to survive this gaming wise. The other benefit of doing this for both the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 libraries is if you combine your Sony libraries collectively and you pump them all out on PC, you will have a steady income forever because you have so much product on Steam, and put it on GOG and put it everywhere else you can. Touch as many pools as you can, put it in many places, then do Operation Unthinkable. Put it on Xbox. Put all of it. Put it all on fucking like Nintendo stuff. Don't even ask for trading for Nintendo stuff. Abandon the console war altogether. Make the Sony PC, the gaming PC, and outdo Microsoft by just making it better. Create your own Sony-based OS that's somehow better and doesn't have AI crap, and then just walk circles around Microsoft and laugh. You will pull in so much money because your games will be on every platform. You'll be pulling in a steady, constant, trickling income forever. And that's just how you win. You'll be able to just steadily feed things because, yeah, old games do sell. And that's the thing that a lot of these Japanese executives don't understand. We know this from interviews from GOG, when GOG interviewed Capcom talking about convincing Capcom to put the old Resident Evil games and Dino Crisis on GOG. Capcom looked at GOG when they came in with the representatives and was like, yeah, but it's old. Why would anybody buy this? And the GOG guy had to basically argue and basically convince these Japanese guys, be like, yeah, no, people will buy this. People will buy this. It'll cost you nothing. We'll like port it for you and stuff. And like, you'll just make money. And they're like, okay, silly Polish man, but that's really dumb, but knock yourself out. And then they did, and they made money, and they made a decent chunk of money actually from that. And they were like, what? People want this crap? And that's how they made this
People don't
crap.
like old games. That's not possible.
It's
They like new games that suck ass.
It's mechanically inferior than some of these newer games. It's visually inferior, it's audio inferior, it's got inferior polygons, lower res textures, because this is the mindset they have. It's weaker product, it's just older. Nobody's gonna want this. There's always a demand. That's what these guys forget. There's always a demand for old product. You're not selling burgers, all right? People, it's not a burger. It doesn't get like moldy with time, all right? It doesn't look all stinky and gross after a while. It's just the same thing it was. It's a piece of media locked in that state forever. Its design and mechanics may be clunky, right? It might be like a more primitive recipe for a hamburger. You know, it doesn't have ketchup, doesn't have mustard, but it's still a burger. It may not have all the fancy doodads that the other burgers have, like green chilies and stuff, but it's got a slice of cheese on it, you know, and you'd sell it for like $5, and all of a sudden people buy it. If you want your food analogy, big megacorp, because you view things as product like that, then there you go. It's just a cheaper product, and you can sell tons of this cheaper product en masse, and it will generate slow trickling income as new people grow up and mature. Your catalog will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, And what you can do, if you're really cancerous, and I don't like this personally, you can make it so people can buy it for $15 and own it forever. And you can set up a really dumb, cringe thing that will probably make you money, but I'm going to suggest it because I'm giving you free advice here. You'd be like, welcome to PlayStation, only PlayStations, and if you pay $5 a month, you get access to every PlayStation game from PS1 to PS5 on your PC. You're welcome. Now you've got steady subscribers giving you $5 a month forever. And that times by like 100,000 people easy, more, probably 200,000. $5, Jesus, you're printing money. All right, I'll take my 5% royalty.
It's like
I'll take
AKA
my-
just copy Xbox.
like literally, like the things you gotta explain to them that way because they're so stupid. Like, oh my god, they can print money. Like it's so this problem that they're facing, right, economically, is one of these problems that it shouldn't be a problem. Is the reality. Like, yeah, there is a problem. What's the problem? PlayStation isn't doing very well in selling physical like things. Okay, let's address that problem. The PlayStation model, it's crap. We have to redo it. We just need to make like a gaming PC, make it affordable, make it economic, get your engineers on the line. You have them. Okay, guys, we need to come up with a game plan. We need to engineer a system that can play games and be like a PC that's commercial. People can buy it and it can run people's games and it will be serviceable and be held to a certain quality level. And the engineer's like, bro, that's like a lot. And they're like, well, that's what we pay you for. Start figuring it out. And the engineers go to work engineering the thing you want. Then they give you your plan. Then you come up with that thing. Then you start entering that shit into production. And in the interim, you slowly close the PlayStation thing down because the PlayStation is at a dead end. Keep the servers up for people that have it, but it's time to start migrating to the next generation. And the eras have changed. The time has moved on. It's time to realize that you're in the digital age, and it's time to adapt your product to fit in the digital market. I know. It hurt me to say that because I like physical products way more than I like digital. But that's the reality. From a business standpoint, if you want to give honest and accurate advice, that's what you got to do. Does anybody else have any ideas? That's my plan to save PlayStation. Or, well, not PlayStation, to help Sony get out of their pickle. Check you a pickle.
Idea pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just copying Xbox is the best thing they can do.
Yes.
They refuse to actually, improve their product itself. So just imitating Xbox with their old catalog is the best they can do.
Because they have a huge game catalog, don't they? Like their game catalog, I think, trounces Microsoft's game catalog massively. Why not take advantage of that? You have a bigger game catalog. People have more nostalgia for your product currently, right now, because they're not that old yet, than they have for Microsoft. Xbox has a lot of old games. The Xbox 360 was their golden age, but the PS2 era was at a height in which we've never gotten close to. Like, that's the reality. PS2 is huge. Get the PS2 catalog. Put it on PC. Do a subscription plan too. Sell it for $15 so you get a one-time buy of $15. That's not bad up front. And then offer a very cheap, you know what? I'm going to shoot myself in the foot. Put them up for $20 and then throw in the $5 like one a month thing, because there you go. It incentivizes and urges people to push them towards, the subscription model. You're selling old product for $20. All you have to do is get a company, an established one with engineers and programmers whose explicit job is to port old games. You have all the resources. You have the know-how. You can do it. It's not impossible. Like, I don't know why you don't do it. Like, you could print money, and not just a little bit of money, but like a shit ton of money. Like, you could get a steady, solid income with that library once it's fully ported, and add all these games like I'm looking at right here to that library. Like, then the Microsoft Game Pass will actually have an actual competitor. Like, there's really no reason not to do this. I don't even like subscription models. I hate that I'm suggesting it. But the alternative is they just lock their library to PlayStation, and die.
You're suggesting
But
it because
what
it
they want to
works, not because it's actually a good
Yeah,
thing
no,
to do.
ironically, that's what they want to do. They want to basically try to do what Nintendo did. But the issue is they don't have time to do what Nintendo did. So this is what they're doing.
Yeah, the PS
Like,
Vita was their
Nintendo-
best chance. Honestly, PSP was, but they blew
Nintendo
it.
developed a sycophantic audience that will buy their trash no matter how bad their game is.
Yeah, people like accuse FIFA being the same game over and over and over again. That's basically Nintendo, but no one calls them out on it.
Cough, cough, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, Chatfish. You could add the PSP game library to Steam as well. Like literally, they have so many games. It's not even funny. They have, I think, thousands of, well, not thousands, but I think in the hundreds Sony has.
Hundreds would be the
What Sony
probably
owns.
more
Yeah.
accurate, yes.
Because they can't port every game because they don't actually own every game. But they
Nope.
do own a lot of Sony proprietary games, and they're in the hundreds. And if they could get that hundreds of games on Steam as their own library, like they would trounce many other publishers. Don't even have that many games on Steam. Like you would just have a decent chunk of slow trickling profit. There's a lot to gain by this and very little to lose. The investment cost of actually getting this up and running is marginal at best, especially for a corporation like this. It will pay for itself within a year. Easily. Like genuinely. Because you literally need to just generate like about probably $250,000 in sales to justify the establishment of a studio of that size. Because the studio you're going to need to establish is going to be mostly just, you're not going to need like fucking, what do you call, artists. The only guys you're going to need is literally just programmers. A small team of programmers for reverse engineering the games.
We need to replace the programmers with AI.
The games won't run well then if you do that. The games don't run. If the question if they run to begin with.
They don't care that case kids.
I know.
They want to stop paying
okay,
people.
from a business standpoint, right? I know you say that like jokingly, but I'm taking this like from a business standpoint. If I'm actually going to help Sony with like advice here, you want the games to be in a serviceable state, right? Because they need to run, they need to be playable, they need to function. Because if they're not in a serviceable state, this would be a bad business decision to actually do this. And I couldn't recommend that. You're going to have to actually put some slight investment. That's why they're going to have to put some actual investment, make sure these are quality. Because if they get these up and get these well up and the good quality, then they're only going to need service patches occasionally, where it's like a new update for Windows broke shit. All right, one of our technicians has got to go through and change something about the EXE so that Windows doesn't get fucky wucky with it. Because that's 9 times out of 10 the issue.
You know, when like Fallout 3 did not function on Windows, I think it was 10 for the longest time, and then just randomly they made an update. Like, okay, now it works.
Mm-hmm. And to get this all easily running quicker, again, some engineers and technicians to set up a official Sony emulator. With your resources, you could easily trump out the fan-based one. And if you're clever, you'd buy them out and just use them to do it. But giving them official resources to set it up. Because that way they're already in the know. Again, there's a lot of things Sony could do to salvage the situation. They're just not going to do any of this shit I just mentioned. And there's even more ideas, even smarter ideas than two dumb ideas I came up with. Which one was just copying Microsoft. Which one?
I mean, look at that one remake and remaster studio they closed down. Was it Blue Pond, I think it was called? It's like one of the most baffling decisions that everybody was just going, what is wrong with you people? You closed who down?
I mean,
I don't like
Microsoft's...
Blue Point, but that's besides the...
Yeah, Microsoft, I mean, ignoring that, Microsoft kills studios left and right for no fucking reason. Like, they're as bad as EA in that regard. Their hands are bloody. Like, Microsoft slaughtered Ensemble Studios despite the fact they made a successful game. It didn't matter.
Despite the fact that they were one of the few people in the entire industry who actually cared about authenticity for the setting they were making a game for.
Microsoft scared away Bungie, which was literally a golden goose. Like, what the fuck?
To be fair.
Bungie fucks up, but they were a golden goose. They were printing gold. They were printing
Kind of.
They were printing
selling.
literal gold. Halo 3 ODST I don't really care for, but it made shit tons of money. Halo Reach isn't my favorite. It doesn't matter. Things sold like fucking hotcakes. Halo 1 through 3, Halo 1 and 2 saved the Xbox. Halo 3
Yes, it did.
was a cultural phenomenon. Like, regardless, Bungie might have problems, which is true, but they literally threw away a golden goose that was printing
They
them
did.
money. And that's the thing I'm focused on. They don't
It was an
care.
unforced error.
It's because they couldn't control them. And because they couldn't control Bungie directly, they didn't like that. They wanted 343 because then they could directly influence them. It's just that's my point. I know there are flaws
Yes,
too.
you are correct in that.
My point is just they take companies that make them money, and because they don't have absolute authority over them, they kill them. And it's just the dumbest goddamn thing. And then they hand the IP over to a company that they have absolute authority over, and then but that company is absolutely garbage because they micromanage the hell out of their studios to make them borderline unfunctional. Like, what's that game? State of Decay? Yeah, that's it. Like,
Yes, State of Decay went from being a cute arcade game on Microsoft when they did the arcade thing.
yep.
They picked them up, Undead Labs, and then they turned them into State of Decay 2. And like State of Decay 2 has some improvements, but overall it's worse.
And the third game's in development hell right now.
Third game is going to be unironic woke trash. I know people like to meme about, oh my god, there's a woman lead, it's woke. No, State of Decay 3 is looking pretty woke.
It looks
Not just that, mechanically, it's looking inferior because a lot of the guys that were at Undead Labs are gone.
Yep. I mean, look what they did to Rare, right? One of those big companies from the generations most people forget about. And they completely butchered them into the ground. Everything they
make
touch,
a
they run
racing
into the
game.
ground. They just run it
The
straight.
moment that they start micromanaging, and so this is a thing that we've talked about a couple fireside and bunch casts of the AAA studios are stagnating on their publishing houses, but AA seems to be doing it in an intelligent fashion. Look at Hooded Horse, how they're handling being a publisher versus Microsoft. It might as well be completely different planets they exist on.
Yeah, different
Yes,
universes.
and I have a little bit of insight into Microsoft in particular because one of my classmates in my master's courses was a AI programmer in Bungie during those days, and very unnice things they had to say about them even back then. All idiots, not one executive he met, you could say, actually knew what he was doing. He would tell them, hey, you're rushing this, we need more time, and they would just go, no.
Yeah, they don't let things cook.
I have a feeling that was more down to the fact they were looking at it from a completely different lens.
I mean,
because
we do
they're
know
not even focused on the quality.
we do know a lot more about a lot of those games that came out from Microsoft. They suffered from various issues, like, in the same way EA's Dead Space suffered from that same problem. If you look at the Halo franchise and Halo's like, because Ruby's Rebounce is a mod by a guy named Ruby, who basically is a little autismo guy who goes around fixing old Halo games and basically restoring them and trying to make them back to the full vision. He also tweaks some of the balance things and uses modern game design philosophy, which the good modern game design philosophy, I want to add.
If I remember right, for at least his rebalance for Halo, he wanted to stay tried and true to their original. What did he call it? Like the 8 seconds of fun or something like that for
Yep,
like a
the same
fight.
rule. It's an 8 seconds of fun. Is for encounters is like sticking true to that and basically trying to balance weapons upward instead of negatively. So all weapons were meant to be brought into an equilibrium to where guns were whatever the guns were considered the most fun. All weapons should be brought in line to be at that equilibrium so that all guns feel fun, and it actually works. All guns feel fun.
Yeah, the assault rifle, instead of spray and pray, your first few shots incredibly accurate, and then it gets less accurate.
You
Who
treat it
would've
as a
thunk?
burst gun. You burst it like you would in real life, and it's actually pretty fun. Like the needler, like speeding up the needle so they actually are a little faster. Made the
it's
needler
neat.
a viable gun, adverse to a weird gimmick gun that kind of sucked in the original.
Yeah. You had to go out of your way to make the needler work.
The only instances the needler shined was against Flood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the explosive blazed. And they also ran directly at you too. That helped.
Yeah, the flood were kind of stupid. So yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, it's It does seem, again, like we've said a couple times, like Sony and Microsoft, whoever was at those studios in the early 2000s in their development and publishing houses, seem to have left because at this point they're decrepit corpses. They're just being puppeted by like whoever's holding the purse strings, trying to be like, look, guys, member Halo, member. It's like, yeah, but
Whoa, ooh.
look at Halo now.
You want us? I
Yep.
just remember a funny story based on what Morty told me of people I know what they're doing leaving. You remember the Sony executive that announced a Crash remastered years ago? He's gone, and he did not have nice things to say, from what I remember. When he talked to some news outlets, he was just like, he just not very nice things to say, and he's absolutely sick of it. And that's been a common trend. Anybody that wants to actually run the business well and actually provide a service a paying customer likes, well, they're being driven out.
Yep. But yeah. The thing is, when it comes to it, it boils down to a myriad of factors, but micromanaging studios is a problem, and Sony's even paid with that too by micromanaging their own studios with like weird DEI stuff and whatnot. This is one of those things where I think the issue here is just let studios act independently, right? Hooded Horse has kind of figured that out, and they're just one of many examples of good publishers. There's a lot of them out there where a
Yep,
publisher
they're just the one to
is a-
point to because they're like growing right now with the sheer amount of wins
They're-
they're getting,
they're a
even when
great
they're putting
example,
games into
yeah.
early access. Yeah.
basically have a series of principles being like, all right, we don't want AI in our games, so we're not going to deal with you if you use AI, and you got to use these certain things. We're going to hold things to a certain standard here, and just be like, okay, and give studios independence. Now, that's the reality. Just give them independence to make good games. The issue is no matter what they do now, like they'll never be able to fix these games or these studios now because they've micromanaged these studios that they've micromanaged the good out of them. There is really no way to salvage these studios without completely hiring somebody in who's competent and be like, dude, you have a blank check to gut the studio. And I mean, find somebody good and competent, some good directors, and be like, all right, and CEOs be like, you need to clean the studio up, you need to clean house. Go in there, clean this shit up, put in people who are going to make this studio good. Because you have to reestablish the studio. Because a lot of these studios just aren't salvageable. Like oh god, let's use this one as an example. Let me grab it. Okay, like fucking Naughty Dog, right? I know it's gonna suck to say, and I'm sure there's some good people still there on the ground floor. There always is, always. But somebody's gonna have to go in there and start cleaning house. Anybody that's had any sort of like politically minded ideas and stuff like that, or espoused it, like Neil Druckmann and something, like, get rid of them, toss them out the door, toss everybody out, start chucking things into the trash bin, right? And then those people you tossed out, I'm gonna regret. I don't really want to. Oh fuck, it's a horrible thing to say, but like blacklist them, from them working with you, like just all of them. Like
So
What Kip's saying is scorched earth, basically.
like scorch earth that, because you're gonna have to purge it and make sure it doesn't come back.
just looking a little bit on Hood, just to kind of further reiterate how Hooded Horse is doing things correctly while still raking in a pretty decent amount of money. They allocate at a minimum $100,000 to any studio that they're localizing or publishing the game for localization and marketing. And developers usually take home 65 to 70% of the revenue of their game, meaning they're not taking a huge cut.
Yeah,
Like,
having a big publisher like that and get the only like walking like if our studio was a part of a big publishing house and they took only what, like 25 or 30%, that's not terrible.
30, 35, depending on contract.
Gets more
Yeah,
aggressive
and
the
it's one of
bigger,
those
but
things.
yeah.
It's like, don't get me wrong, that does suck, but it's not like they're taking bare minimum half the project.
Yeah. Because they'll give you all the money up now, right? Because there's benefits to this. To reiterate, now I don't personally ever want to go that route, because you going that route, you have to cut certain corners no matter how you slice it. But the benefits for doing that, there are benefits to do that for some studios. One, you really, really want to get your game out, and you're not gonna slow burn or slow build it. You need it out because you need to become a game dev as a career, right? And you need to make that a career. So you're gonna need to get picked up by a publisher so that you can dedicate yourself to working basically a regular work schedule, meaning that you're not going to chisel away at
And
it in the after
actually
hours.
focusing on
Yeah, because like for example, you know how I stream every day, chat. For a lot of other
There's a
indie
reason.
devs, they have their own jobs. Now, in my case, I'm a streamer, but for other indie devs, they might be a car mechanic, they might do something else, and that's their primary source of income. And then they turn around
literally
and take
their day job, and then their night job is their game.
Yep, and they work on it in their free time, right? For other guys, they want to make it their full-time gig now. And how do you do that now? How would I do that now? Well, you're going to have to quit streaming. You're going to have to quit being a mechanic. You're going to have to quit doing whatever you're doing and focus full-time on that thing. You're going to need a huge injection of cash to basically work, and get that thing done instead of a couple years, a year or 2 years. It's got to be done fast. And the only way you're going to get that kind of progress is if you're working around it round the clock. And that is very tempting, like in that regard. Even as an indie, like not doing it, like that is tempting. Because like being able to work on it round the clock means you can make huge amounts of progress. Like insanely amazing amounts of progress. Like genuinely.
So
Go ahead.
not only does Hooded Horse have more attractive like cuts for publishing revenue and all that, yet again, this we've talked about this a couple of times in a few fireside chats. They're private. They are not public, and the CEO has said they have zero plans to go public ever.
Wise. Incredibly wise.
Not only that, the two guys that co-founded it, they hold almost all the privately held stocks for it, and they both came from AAA publishing houses. One came from Ubisoft, worked there for like 20 years. Another one, Microsoft.
Okay. I mean, they probably know why then to stay private, which makes sense because they
Yep.
have experience. They've
Uh,
seen it firsthand.
I think some people have mentioned it in chat, but unironically, the moment, metaphorically speaking, AAA went public was when they started going downhill.
Also, India posted something just to hurt you in stream rooms regarding Halo.
Let's take a look at it. I'm going to see if it's naughty before I
No,
look.
it's not.
Ew.
I never trust that Bindio. I also have to cover my screen because I was looking at the studio.
He really wants to show off Indio's work every time.
Oh, I really don't like
It's
Indio anymore. I really hate him.
India, why?
India.
You know we need to punish you now, India. For
You know
for
what
sharing
screams Halo, chat? Yes, that's right. When I think of Halo, which is humanity fighting a war of extinction between aliens and, the flood and galactic ending things, I think of women. Because the galaxy ending and women have a lot in common.
I
They
think
get
of
them the source of the end of the world.
when I think of the romance between Arbiter and Sheaf, I think of women.
Think of women. Think of women.
And this is yet another symptom of a IP that is dead. They
Yeah.
have to do something to bring in new eyes. So what do they do?
Yeah.
Current
Yeah.
thing.
Unironically, Halo, and I say this as someone that grew up with Halo. Halo is a walking corpse.
Yep. Same. I'm pretty sure almost everyone here probably did in some fact. Like, I grew up playing the shit out of all the Halos.
I've
Read
told
the
this
hell out of
story.
the books, all of it.
I remember I told the story before. I was in high school, and I remember everyone in our computer lab, including the fucking teacher, was playing the demo.
All
Yep.
right. Indio, too shy to come in here. He sent one other
Yes.
article or picture. Microsoft bans the word microslop in Copilot's Discord server, which goes predictably poorly. Oh my god, that is
doesn't
incredibly
surprise
funny.
Unironically, they are so butt mad about people calling it microslop. To be fair, it's accurate. I would be mad too if they kept calling that if I was in it
So,
and that high up.
real quickly,
But
right?
it is accurate.
Let's talk about, just briefly, the power of psychology. All right. So Mamu said something incredibly funny earlier. You know what he said? He said, PlayStation, they have no games. He said it casually, but we all sort of just took it as if it was natural. Did anybody think it was a particular like big like profound thing. No, it's become
It is
common.
technically incorrect, but it is colloquially
It's a
correct.
perception. It's a perception that we have. When I think of Sony, I'm like, oh man, like when I think of modern PlayStation, I'm like, they have no games. That's the thought that comes to mind. The phrase "they have no games" comes to my mind. That's why Microsoft got incredibly mad when you started saying AI slop. Because
Because that's the direction they wanted to take the company.
the perception of AI is not doing well. And if you start calling it AI slop and that phrase begins to trend, it will hurt. It will hurt it pretty badly, right? Imagine if I was a big company, right? And I was selling kib stuff, and then Chatfish started saying kib slop. Fuck. Like that started taking on. And so people stopped thinking about, oh, kibs is stuff. It's kib slop. And like, oh, that's some kib slop right there. And it's like, that's got a negative connotation. You know what I mean? Like, do you see the power of that? Like kib slop. It'd be like if my game came out and people called it kib slop. Like, it would break my heart on the inside, my dudes. I would be so sad. I would be so sad. Ah, kib slop. It's like,
To be fair, kib slop sounds funny at least.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like, it's got a very different connotation and a perception to it. And so if you ascribe that AI slop or micro slop to Microsoft as a corporation and things they're producing, it does damage. And it's not just psychological, it's not just emotional trauma, it's financial damage just by saying it. AI slop is damning. Microslop, oh god, I don't know. It's brand destroying. And the more that takes on, the more damage it does. Just like Sony has no game, or PlayStation has no games.
Yeah. I think I posted what everybody's reaction is, the GIF to what India posted.
It's just Bender laughing at I always fucking forget her name.
Leela.
It's the one where, oh, you're serious? Let me laugh harder.
But yeah, this is it's further evidence that PlayStation, at least the Sony PlayStation division, is kind of in a very bad place. Now, they could pull it back. Nintendo did this going into the Wii. They were in a very dire strait. And the Wii saved them,
was
right?
a dark period.
Ironically, it did. Whether you agree with it or not, it did save them.
The Wii was amazing.
The Wii pulled them from bankruptcy.
It's a shame because the GameCube's pretty cool.
No, but the fact is, the N64 followed by the GameCube did a fuck ton of damage.
The N64, while it's a cool console, it did not do very well.
But that's to say, these companies can recover. It's a question of whether or not they're willing to do it.
And the time frame in which they're, let's just say they do decide to do it. Because people can say, oh, there's no such thing as too late. For a company, whether people like it or not, there is such a thing as too late.
There is. It would require significant restructuring and a lot of firings. Which, considering they're publicly traded, I don't think they care to do. But at this point, I would not put my... I wouldn't gamble on them, shall we say.
Yeah, my take is, remember right, their PlayStation division is headquartered in very woke California, either Los Angeles or San Francisco, and we all know how much of a problem those talent pools are, which unfortunately is where a stupid amount of gaming talent is heavily centralized in a few hyper woke sectors.
Not anymore. It's mostly Dallas, Austin, and Georgia.
Yes,
unironically,
which is
those will fall next.
Yep.
Dallas, you're a bit better off. Austin, well, Austin is.
Unironically, both those cities are going down because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, Dallas County.
Yeah. It's sad seeing them go from, the PlayStation 2 to whatever the fuck they are now.
It's why I've told people at this point, it is better to just accept that we are in the part of the gaming cycle where the old giants either die out or fade away, and then new take their place,
Yep.
or they
Mhm.
have to reinvigorate themselves or
Hopefully,
reinvent
uh,
themselves.
ideally, the new companies will learn from the lessons from the past, but like usually what's going to happen is the new companies might be good, but the natural cycle of
continue.
things will continue. So they will be good. Hooded Horse will become a great thing, but in time, it's entirely possible that Hooded
And
Horse
the
could
people
become a
that made it
bad
great
thing.
will leave, and
Yep.
then the
Mhm.
cycle will repeat.
The cycle will repeat. Hooded Horse becomes EA essentially in the future, because Hooded Horse, if Hooded Horse becomes incredibly successful, just to name one AA or any AA for that matter, right? Becomes incredibly successful, blows up big, gets big, does well. The issue is that over time, the people that work there will get old, they'll retire, and they'll love their children, and they'll love their friends, and they'll give their friends and their children access to that kingdom. And eventually, their
And they were
children
undeserving of
their
it.
children might respect it. They might actually cherish it. They might actually try to honor it. But it only takes one person to completely burn down a kingdom.
Black Knight says the Bronze Age of gaming is ending. Now comes the Iron/Classical Age.
Yeah.
So unironically, though, you say that as a joke. Like unironically, that is how gaming has gone since like
Kinda.
the dawn of time. Like there's like I don't even want to say golden age, because if you look at it, it does come in cycles. So
Mhm.
it's like the next like golden age. Like it'll eventually happen, but the issue is right now, sadly, we're at the fall of Rome stage for the video game industry.
I think I talked about this with Chumpus, or was it Robin, or both? But yeah, in the dev server, we were talking about this while working on our game, while we were just decompressing. And one thing we talked about the games and trees, it seems to be a cycle that usually seems to be every like 6 to like 10 years about. Is you'll have like good
Uh,
games and then
the
bad games. Because if you look at the 90s were good, and then up sort of through the 2000s, and then started to get bad. And then 2000, like 10 and over, it was just like, okay, we're going down the hill. And then for about 2018 games, and then games started getting good again, and then the 2020s have been good, and we have this golden age going on right now. And so it's now like, but it's not the AAAs this time, because the AAAs dipped again, and they're now making bad again. But instead of just being like, oh man, everything's kind of crap, it's all right, that's fine, and then just go buy indie stuff, and indies are where it's at, and it's like, oh okay, well there's something to bridge the gap in the down period. Indies.
Speaking of that, Rapier and I played Slay the Spire 2 in the Discord last night.
Guys had a lot
They
of
were
fun.
Holy
having
shit, is
fun.
it fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Like, it's
it's
just
fun
an
playing a
indie
game.
card builder.
There's
it
half
was
a million people playing last I checked. And
No,
came
it
out-
wasn't that many. It's like 250 to 280.
It was 400,000 last
I was
looked.
paying attention because either Rapier or Morty, I forget which one was streaming it. It didn't look bad.
It was
Now,
408,000 during what was it? Friday, I think.
like
Well,
deck
it's
builders aren't
274 and a half.
12-hour peak is 574,000.
Oh, there you
like
go.
Holy
deck
shit,
builders
half
are
a
not
million. Holy fuck.
necessarily- Yeah, deck builders aren't necessarily my thing.
Well,
But
it's
the
also
fact
Sunday
that they
night.
basically looked at the original and said, "Hey, we should make that co-op." Like just from watching them play it, it looked like it was actually it jived decently well with the idea of having multiplayer.
Oh Jesus. And sold for 25
geez.
bucks, 574,000
Click on
sales.
the
That's
click on the link.
nuts. I know, but I'm
That
just looking at that
studio's
picture.
gonna be eaten well.
94.33%
But yes, it's an indie game.
positive.
They are self-published, no publishing house. And from what Rapier was telling me, it's just more of the first one.
Yeah, in 2 days, it went from a release of 175,000 to concurrent to 574. It's like, good lord, that talk about long go up.
Yeah, that's doing very well. Jesus,
Now, for
Louise.
comparison, let's look at Slay the Spire 1, an all-time peak. What's max?
Huh?
A max peak, the highest it got was 57,000.
Yep.
Nope. That's franchise building. It's like, good lord, talk
But this is
about
what we mean,
increase.
Chatfish, when we say it's not all doom and gloom. The indie and AA scene is bonkers right now.
Yep, you just have to. Here's the issue, because there's so many games, which on the one hand is a good thing because it means there's a lot of people trying it. it also means you have to look through a lot of stuff to find like the really good stuff.
Like, I'll be honest, most AAAs, someone like my brothers or whatever, because they're kind of normies, will mention some AAA game. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like,
Never normie.
I don't care about AAAs. Like, it doesn't matter. AAA gaming to me is dead. What matters to me as far as the game industry is concerned and what's coming out is here with indies and AAs.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the indies will try to do interesting things where the double A's, it's like, okay, we have an idea here, let's try to polish it. That's pretty much how I look at it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. Oh my god. Well, good on these devs. Congrats to them. They're eating good.
Yeah, that's nuts for an indie title.
That's honestly, I think, if I had to be honest, I think it's every indie's dream.
Honestly,
Seeing
I hope
numbers
they do
like
as
that,
well.
it's one of those things where if you, as an indie dev, see that, it's like, we made it, boys.
we did it.
Yeah.
We're going to Game
They need to
Holla.
do
This is like
We're going
what's that Metroidvania everyone really likes?
Hollow
The
Knight Silk
sequel.
Song?
Yeah.
Silk Song.
That
Hollow
series.
State.
That's like that level of a fucking insane. Like just out of nowhere, and they just drop it and bam.
Yeah, I had my problems with Silk Song, but it is a fantastic game and sequel.
Yeah,
Like, no
I
question
agree
about
to
it.
that.
See
The
what
funny
it
thing
calls.
is with Team Cherry, the developers of
The devs,
Hollow
yeah.
Knight, yeah, the devs.
Mhm.
Um, the fans just basically waited patiently. Like I think it was 3 years.
They were,
3
they
years
were
before
also,
the
they were also upfront. It's like, look, guys, we were going to make this if I remember, it was going to be an expansion to the original game, but then they kept
Yes.
working on it, and then it's like, guys, like, seriously, this is going to be a new game, and that's
Yeah.
what happened.
And also, developers they develop a pedigree of delivering results, which means when they say, "Don't worry, it will come out, but here's what we need to do X, Y, and Z," based on what Hans said, people just went, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like,
Is-
they've,
is- Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say they develop trust, and let's
Yeah.
face it,
Well, the thing
that's
is,
something few developers can really claim.
so one thing is that I do remember, and I think Daryl raised it. He says Silk Sanity was real, so people
Yes, it
were
was.
freaking out about the game. And the reality
Yeah.
is that when it comes to waiting for a game to come out, what are you gonna do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, what can
Yeah.
we do about Half-Life 3? Nothing.
I
We
moved
can
on.
hope and pray, and then
No,
Gaben
no,
will look
that's
down
what-
upon us, and one day
We'll
he
either
will
get an
smile.
announcement this year, or I'll lose hope in humanity.
That is slightly wrong. We can meme about it. That's about the best you can do.
Yes.
It's like, Gaben, count to 3. I
I
can't.
can hope Gaben
Not
takes enough
possible.
GLP-1s so he's no longer fat enough so he doesn't die of a heart attack. That's about it.
He's not.
Yeah.
Now let's give Kibbs another injection of
Morty,
opium.
have you considered that his cholesterol is what gives him his big brain powers?
I hope to God that, like, when the GameCube's announced finally, and they're like, "Bro, Half-Life
they're
3
gonna-
is coming," and it's like, finally, I'll
I,
see
I
it.
do think that's a better game.
See, I
the GameCube.
discovered Half-Life proper when people were like, "There's no such thing as 3," and I feel like I may have discovered that, and I like after the fact Half-Life was out, and I feel like I'm gonna die before I see the third one so well.
Now, here's the thing.
Oh, by the time
Unironically,
I
I do
found
decide
it.
that Valve has only said they're going to do a 3 under 2 conditions. Condition 1, there's new tech that they want to basically demo. Or 2, Valve falls on such hard times that they need the money.
Which
Those
will
two
never
conditions.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. So you're basically waiting for the next like leap in like hardware or tech in video games for them to make a Half-Life 3.
Or a new source engine that they want to show off, which even under those circumstances, I'm hesitant to say will happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's fair. It's a fair assumption, honestly.
If you hope and dream, maybe your grandkids will see Half-Life 3.
Jason Long says Half-Life 3 with
don't-
your GameCube bundle win. I don't know.
Don't remind me of people unironically going on about that shit with Star Citizen. I hope my grandkids will be able to use my game package. Like, oh, okay.
Oh my god, did they say that? Like, legit?
Generational
Yes,
packages.
people actually,
Generational wealth.
people were
Oh my-
actually saying that, as a good thing of like it's an investment. It's like, all right.
It's an investment. Shut
Okay.
the mouth.
Really? No.
Yes.
I was gonna say.
That's why I don't recommend to people to it.
Hey, and remember, Morty was a big investor into that.
Man,
I would unironically call that a natural cult. That's what it actually is. It feels like a cult.
Well, it's the biggest crowdfunding success in gaming history, so enjoy.
well,
Biggest scam.
who can say with Star Citizen? Maybe one day. Maybe then we can say. I bought a ship for Star Citizen, by the way, a long time ago. 2013, I think. Or something like that. Somebody convinced me. I was like,
old
we're going to
days.
play this together. And I'm like, oh, that is cool. I'll buy a little fighter. Then I bought it and I played it. And
Oh
like,
no,
this
you
one's
probably
like,
bought. You either got a Mustang or you got the Aurora. Rip.
yeah, it's really bad. I remember playing and like, this
Yep,
ship
that's
sucks.
how big Morty is into it. He just by the date that Kibbs bought in, he knows with a high degree of accuracy the ship he
I
probably
think it's the
has.
Aurora though. I remember it having like a weird
Yeah.
name, or not a name like a Mustang. Mustang sounds more masculine. I remember being kind of
It's
floaty,
Aurora then.
Fruity.
It's the Aurora.
but it wasn't good. I can tell you that with certainty.
No,
Wasn't that
it's a
isn't that
flying
the one
brick.
that's- Honestly, isn't that the one that's actually broken?
No, that's the Mustang.
Okay. So it's not literal dog shit. It's just almost dog shit.
I just know this, chat. I just know that after I played Star Citizen a little bit, back when it was on the Cry engine or whatever, I remember going like, this runs really bad, and my computer's like really, really warm. I'm just gonna stop.
My computer
Good
sounds
news!
off.
It still runs really, really bad.
Ugh.
You know, don't get me wrong. I hate the AI bubble as much as the next guy, but can we at least all agree that this is now going to force devs to fucking optimize their shit?
Man,
It's already
Mhm.
happened. Devs have had to go backwards and like change requirements for games where they were allocating 32 gigs for system memory. Now they're doing 16 and
No,
having
no,
to
I
optimize because no
understand
one
that.
has 32.
No, that's what I mean. I'm saying like, I'm at least glad that it is forcing them to have
They don't have
to
a
do that.
choice.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like if anyone was in PC gaming during the 08-09 housing crash, Nvidia for the first time in their history actually decreased the cost of their cards because no one could afford them.
And Nvidia wanted to stay in business.
Yes.
Don't worry. Now they don't look at the customer base. They look at big corporations to buy their shit. So it'll never go down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
God damn. Well, I think we've wrapped up this late night.
Oh wait,
What?
did you cover the Valve getting sued
Oh no, I didn't.
again?
And then
Uh,
winning
say-
immediately.
Yeah, I'm gonna say again.
Oh yeah, I
Is
stopped
this
moving
the one in New
forward.
York?
Fuck, hold on. Jesus Christ, we're not remotely done. I was like, God, I felt like we had more stuff. Sony
Okay,
probably
before
put
that happens, I'm gonna
No, you're not.
jump off.
You don't get to. You're German. You belong to me as a
It's
person.
3
Well,
a.m.
It could be
Thanks for
6
hanging
a.m.
out.
All right,
Let
good
me
night.
leave.
You're off
It's the
the
Kaiser.
hook,
Everybody's
boy.
See ya. Bye bye.
We
Good
could have
night.
all peer pressured him if we worked together, but no. But
I
no.
could, but I like Vulpus. I don't want to do that.
What
go,
are you talking
German,
about?
German,
If you
German,
truly
German.
like Vulpus, you'll make sure that his
Is this
eyes are
the
as
lawsuit
big as
from New
mine.
York?
His eggs? What?
Fuck! Shut up.
Now, is this the lawsuit from New York, or is this a different one?
No, this is so these
fuck.
two are by Ragnarok. He posted them in discussions. We can just do a quick overview. Android's getting Xbox emulation.
For the
Which is
X1
neat.
box fork of
Yep.
Yeah,
Xemu?
I would say that's neat.
I'm always for people doing emulation. It's a cool way to circumvent hardware and the gay DRMs people used to put in stuff.
Yeah, I would just say mostly it's the DRM limitations. It's the big thing.
Yep. Cowcow donates $2 and says, "I don't feel good. Please pray for Cowcow." Well, feel better, Cowcow.
Indeed.
Take care, my
Kafka's
buddy.
exploding again.
Take it
Yep.
easy and just get rested, buddy. You'll be fine before you know it. Just remember, when I broke my collarbone, this isn't going to particularly help because you have a very different thing. But I just realized that.
This story's not going to help, but
But
it does
one
grant-
thing
it
I
does
thought
make me
about,
sound-
and I know this might sound stupid, but when I was laying there with my broken collarbone, I thought about it while it was raining. It was facing upwards, and my eyes were closed, and they're telling me not to pass out.
So
I
bet
said,
you're wondering how it got here.
like, the thing that I thought about was like, right now I'm in awful pain, but at some point in the future I won't be. And I thought about that, and I clung to that thought for as long as possible. And I clung to it while laying in my bed recovering, and I clung to it the next day and the next day until it stopped hurting. And I'm like, I finally reached that day after like a month. But if you cling to the positive thoughts, maybe it'll help. I'm trying, all right? That's all I can offer. I just hope
Remember,
you
we
feel
are not
better.
doctors. Seek professional medical advice.
Yeah, that wasn't medical advice.
Actual
That's just
doctor, it's like
coping.
worst. He talks to an actual doctor. Worst advice he could have taken. Absolute dog shit.
Just think about it, Chow
Never
Chow.
listen to a VTuber on it.
One day, the pain you feel today will not be the pain you feel tomorrow. It's
It
true.
would actually be worse.
Oh, I hope not. Oh my god.
Yeah, wait a minute. Did I go to a maid clinic?
Well, who can say for certain?
I'm glad someone got the joke.
Now, that's cool. That's cool. That's making its way to phone. By the way, like I said, the future of saving games is slightly tied to mobile games. I know that's cursed, but the sooner mobile
it's
game standards are
specifically
higher. Go ahead.
It's specifically tied to microchip technology getting smaller and smaller and faster and faster.
Well,
SLR.
what I was referring to wasn't
Thank you.
necessarily that. The sooner that mobile gamers standards are raised is the sooner we all benefit. That's why it's
Yes,
incredibly
but,
important to constantly tell people that they should have higher standards for better quality content. Because if the standards were higher across the board, there's really no excuse that mobile games can't be as good as PC games. Like, that's the reality. And that's a mentality we need to have. Because if they have to be excellent, then there's no excuse PC games ever have, ever, period. Genghis donates $2 and says, Marathon has very positive review on Steam. Why?
Because people paid for it and they don't want their
So,
purchase to have been bad. So
we'll,
they trick themselves.
we'll look at Marathon, and we'll save that for just a sec. But let's move on to the next thing. We'll talk about Marathon, remind me. Because that's a fair question. Thank you for the nation. But we should first get to the next subject, and then we'll talk about that. So, the next thing is Steam Machine, which should be called GameCube. Update. Valve now says all...
Of game on mine.
Valve now says all 3 new products will ship this year, updated. Valve first says it hopes to ship the machine this year, then mentions this year again. The company updated its article. Originally, this article that Valve may skip this year for a Steam Machine, but now Valve has updated the wording in its Steam Year in Review in 2025 post. The company now says there have been challenges with memory and storage shortages, but that it will be shipping all 3 products this year. This is a firmer message than the earlier version of the same post, which said Valve only hoped to ship in 2026. This matters because Valve had already softened its launch targets once before. The original Steam hardware announcement in November 2025 said Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and Steam Controller were planned for early 2026. Then, in a February update, Valve said its goal of shipping in the first half of 2026 had not changed, while also warning that memory and storage shortages were making pricing and launch timing harder to finalize. Previous messaging was as follows. We hope to ship in 2026. That's the key thing right there. And that's about it. Because they were, again, focusing on that. The update is, we shared recently that there have been challenges with memory and storage shortages, but we will be shipping all 3 products this year. More updates will be shared as we finalize our plan. So yeah, effectively, the concern about Steam not releasing their products this year has been assuaged, as they will be basically launching their new product line this year. I'm still skeptical about that fucking controller. After the last time I bought one of those goddamn controllers, I think I wanted to blow my brains out.
I have heard that they've done a lot of fixing hardware-wise, and like they're taking a lot of aftermarket ideas and incorporating it from the word go.
Yeah, because the previous Steam
So,
controller
we'll
from
see.
2018, or was it 2017, did not impress. I have it somewhere in a box, and it's like has
Yes,
these
it was a flop.
touchpads. It's fucking awful. Oh my god, it's the worst controller ever. Like, I've never played with a controller worse than that thing. So that's something on this product line that is interesting. It's also interesting because they've doubled down on it. Because look at that Steam Deck there, and it also follows the same core design principles as the controller does. So it must be good. The one thing I will say is those analog sticks on those little VR headset thing look excellent. One big problem with a lot of VR controls is they had touch-based interfacing because that was still in the late stages of 2018. And 2018, from like 2010 to 2018, by the way, there was this huge obsession with touch-based interfacing, and it was awful, and it was genuinely the worst thing ever.
Let's ignore the fact that it's so easy to break that shit.
Actually, I don't think it was 2010. I think it was like 2012 to 2018. But yeah, touch-based interfacing was like on everything, and it sucks. It sucks so much, chat. Like, it genuinely does. Just fucking ass is what it is. Oh. So I'm glad that they've gone away with it. I see that they still kept the little touchpad things as an option. I'll be real. I don't even know why they bothered. They, like, oof. Yikes. Like, you know that...
It's because they want it to be able to also be used as a trackpad for like a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know the Reddit thing with like, yikes. Like, that's how I feel. Yikes. Like, fuck, bro.
That's a big yikes, bro.
Like, oh my god. Those touch controls. Oh, like the last touch control interface I had to deal with was that fucking, what do you call it? The Vive, the HTC Vive for that, because that's my VR thing. I haven't unboxed that in ages. It's probably in a box somewhere. But like, oh my god, dudes. It sucks. It genuinely sucks.
Yeah.
Trash. All right. Well, hopefully this stuff is good. I hope so. Now for the last subject for Genghis, who donated $2 reduce. We'll briefly mention why I think Marathon's where it's at, but I'm going to also take a look at it because I need to take a feel, need to get information, because honestly, I'll be real with you, oh god, this is not good. It looks like it has plateaued. It doesn't even say recent reviews anymore, it just says all reviews. It got the sales it was going to get, and that's it, boys.
You got the big fans that will eat up anything Bungie makes.
What is it you described for Dead Space? It's hit its market cap.
Yeah, it's market cap. It plateaued. I think you're actually right. The market cap. That's probably not the best verbiage, but I can't think of anything else to call it. Plateauing, I suppose. You know,
I mean, that's what you would call
flat.
it in a financial term, but yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Depending on what field you're in, you would word it a different way. But market cap, capacity, like all of those are apt for what we're talking about. Peaked, like
I was keeping an eye over on Marathon over the weekend since its launch. It at one point was like 80 something thousand, and it just kind of sat anywhere from 50 to 75 or so thousand.
So it's a slow death, basically.
I don't think people. So here's the thing: I don't think people are simping for Marathon. I think the people that like it really like it, and the people that don't have just moved on. Like, it's
pretty much that, which is what happens honestly most times with games like this.
Because the real big controversy was when they stole that person's art, or had
Yeah.
allegedly stole it, and then
No, they did.
Yeah, no,
It was just
it was
confirmed.
I'm saying that for legal protection, right?
Yeah.
They
apologized for
allegedly
it.
stole it, and then they apparently had some sort of court thing they went through, and that was basically the big controversy I was aware of.
That was one of the ones I remember as well.
Like, some people really like the art style, some people really don't. Bungie's gunplay has always been pretty decent. Even in Destiny, the gunplay was really good, perfectly fine.
Yep, they're just using the Destiny Foundation from everything I've heard from the gameplay, because we have some people who've tried it, and from people who talk about it, like it feels like the gunplay has solid polish, but the biggest issue it suffers from is it doesn't really have an identity outside of that. It's got this cool artistic direction that people like, but here's the issue: it's one of those art directions where you're either gonna like it,
yes,
or you're gonna not.
Here's what I will say. The direction by itself is not terrible. My issue is, since I'm semi-familiar with Marathon's like original style, for me it's like, but that's not Marathon.
Yeah, it's the other issue is the second controversial thing, which is using the title Marathon. Now, I don't think that's enough to really kill the game, But for older, more dedicated players who are big fans of Marathon, they're going to be upset about this because they never were actually given the game with the name Marathon.
But the whole like extraction shooter genre is hyper niche, and it's hyper inflated in terms of the supply of games doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I wanna-
highly centralized, but in a few games at this point.
I want to say these types of shooters, like they don't appeal to me, but there's definitely a market for them.
But the number of people it's not going to be a huge standout title, but it's also not necessarily going to be an immediate flop. The estimation is 200 to 300 million for development costs, and at their current rate, they are set to significantly miss. Just being in the black, not even profit, just in the black.
Yeah, which, by the way, when it comes to AAA things, what happens
That's
to
bad.
games that just so happen to be profitable?
They get
They
axed.
get cut.
They
The
die.
company, yeah, the company dies.
Yeah, because what happened to Visceral Games in Pandemic when they just did okay? They died. They didn't just
Cue Yoda death noise.
EA Los Angeles
Yeah.
when EA Los Angeles made a stinker.
Westwood.
Westwood, same thing. Yeah, I mean they're both the same
Mhm.
thing technically.
Yeah, well, they became, yeah.
Because technically Westwood like split in half, sort of like Bungie and 343. Well, actually more like Bungie and
Mhm.
343 than Bungie and 343 were. Because most people after Westwood imploded, I think stayed with EA Los Angeles. I think it actually was a majority.
343 was a bunch of sycophants. Like, most of the actual Halo people from Bungie didn't even go to 343.
They're just Halo worshippers. And the
Mhm.
issue is that with that sort of sycophantic sort of uber fan mentality, you can't have fans make games about the things they're fans of and expect them to be at the same quality. Because the fan
Not when they're just sycophants, no.
Yes. And this is and the reason why I'm saying this carefully is because like I'm specifically referring to sycophantic people who are blinded, like, oh, Chief and Cortana, they obviously have chemistry. Yeah, they do have chemistry.
Mhm.
But oh, that means chemistry means romantic. No.
No,
Yeah.
they have an emotional connection. That's
Like,
it.
Yeah, people that unironically wanted
no,
to
no,
like
no.
ship them. You're the reason Halo died.
It's like it shows a
You
disconnect,
specifically.
right? It's like, for example, on our guest panel on the Bickering bunch, we all have a chemistry with one another. But just because we have a chemistry does not chatfish, like, does not mean romantic chemistry, because that's very different. It's like not reading the room. It's not understanding the relationship people have with each other's and how
They're just
that.
bros just being bros.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Squealy.
yeah,
I was gonna say fuzzy, but you know.
So I
Damn.
wanted to remind everyone of the discourse around Frodo and Sam.
yep.
Those two are the furthest thing from gay, yet people want to
No,
ship them for some
I
reason.
unironically despise those people because it's like it is very obvious the type of relationship they have, and they're
They're brothers.
unironically trying to make it gay. Yeah, no, unironically, it's like fraternal brotherhood is what they
Yes.
have.
Yep, absolutely. And it's like these people
But no,
just
they
don't
want to
get
make
it.
it gay, and it's just like, wow.
No, they are brothers. They may not be from the same parents, but in terms of their emotional connection and life connection, they're brothers.
Yes, you can be
Frodo is
brothers
also, like,
with
30 years
somebody
older
who
than him.
isn't related.
In Hobbit years, that's not that big a deal.
Yep, brotherhood is something that men can form between other men that doesn't necessarily need to be by blood. A brother can be somebody who's older or younger than you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
hell, just like look at the military and how it forms those bonds with the servicemen in like their like divisions, brigades, and all that.
women also form similar bonds like we do, but it's more of like a sisterhood thing when they form their bond. It's actually not just a bit. It's a very different type of bond. But these bonds are, on the line of like what would be like an elevated friendship. This is another term would be best friend. A best friend is a brother. Now, when men and women become best friends, that's also possible, but it's very less likely.
Statistically, it is very unlikely.
Yes, because usually gender dimorphism is a factor, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It just means it's less likely. Just like having close friendships with women as a male is also less likely, but not impossible. It's just because when you usually form those sort of closer attachments, usually because of chemistry reasons, things happen.
Biology, but yes.
Raper says, "Did I miss
Boy,
the Sony
child.
discussions?" We did discuss it early on.
Yeah. You
Spent, like,
did miss it.
45 minutes.
It's okay, Chumpus. I will allow you to talk about it in tomorrow's stream, is because I'm nice. He's like, thanks, Gib.
I won't.
But yeah, Marathon. I don't necessarily know that it's going to be a high guard or Concord situation,
No, it's
but
not.
neither is it going to be a standout success. It's just going to kind of flounder.
It's just going to be there.
Yep.
Is what I think.
They've got two options with this game, right? Option one, just support it a little bit and sort of coast off what financial gains it will produce and then move on. Option two, try to salvage it. Actually, I have three technically. Try to salvage it more by releasing a big overhaul expansion to push it in a direction that people want. Maybe give it a single player campaign. Maybe actually continue the marathon storyline.
So the thing is, what you're describing is exactly what they did with Destiny 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
The games came out, they were kind of just there. They did a big expansion. People were like, it's so Jover, we're so back. And then they just kind of petered out. And then they moved on to the next one.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I think of. Like, big expansion, bring people's interest back in. Basically try to get people to take interest in it. Or three. Just leave it on, but move on and start the next project. And that, I'm talking specifically the primary team, because the primary team at Bungie has those options. Now, yeah, because they self-published this, didn't they? There was no other.
Yep, Bungie is purely so they have like some investment from into the company from like I think China did some investment when they went independent.
That might explain why they went with robots and no people.
But this is purely them, and like there's no publishing house. It's just Bungie.
See,
and
you saying that
I was big into Destiny 1 and 2, and I could tell you, like, gameplay-wise, Bungie still has it. In terms of mechanics, their games are fantastic. They lack any writing team. They don't know how the fuck to write.
Yeah, it's like the only story they kind of had was Halo, and it was kind of built on the principle of marathon. Like, the thing is,
It literally was supposed to be a marathon
Yes.
game.
I
before
know
Microsoft
we're.
bought it.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but us writers are kind of important. But, we also got lots of us that are overinflated in terms of we're actually shit. So while writers like me are a dime a fucking dozen, literally, if you find a good one and a truly great one, you'll get things like Myth. You'll get things like Marathon. You'll get things like Halo.
Good writers are similar to good artists. Yes, there are a lot of artists out there, but the good ones are really good.
Yes, because literature is an art in of itself, and you got to hire good writers. This is one thing that media. This is going to get its own bunchcast subject at some point, but I need to talk about it in a certain way. Otherwise, I'm going to sound like an arrogant twat. Basically, I'm like, yeah, you should hire
Don't
me.
worry, Gibbs. You're on the internet and you have a VTuber avatar.
I
and
know,
a
but I
YouTube
want to
channel.
provide some sort of constructive criticism. But my idea, at least my personal idea on the matter, is more or less companies need to take a greater interest in writers. And more specifically, in actually acknowledging good writers when they find them and actually caring and hiring and focusing on hiring writers with an actual vision. Because a writer is somebody who can kind of, like, for example, I'm flexible as a writer. I can, like, if somebody makes something for a game or certain things like Robin comes up with, I'm like, and he asks me, like, can we make that work in the lore? I'm like, yeah. 9 times out of 10, yeah, you can. But it's important that we figure out whatever changes we're going to make mechanically, that it's going to have any mechanical impact. Because once it's written and exported, and as in it's in the people's hands, it's canon now. So any sort of other changes will be not something I want to do, because I'm a huge, big anti, what do you call it, retcon guy. I don't like retcons. Like, I want to write and I want to commit to it. I don't like revising. I'm okay with revising work in a workshop sense, as in we're working on stuff. But like, if I release something and like we've said that this pepper is spicy, and then the next scene it's this pepper is sweet, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, why didn't we just establish that to begin with? Why didn't we just
You heard what he said. If you can convince a team member, you might be able to get Star Steel bullets.
It's true.
I'm a strangle. No interfering with the development,
But,
Chatfish.
yeah, I don't know. Marathon just looks boring to me. The art style
Yeah.
just looks blah. Like,
See,
It's generic
when
sci-fi,
you said,
honestly.
see, my perspective of the art style changed. You see this picture of this girl right here, right? Can one of you Google generals, Command and Conquer generals, the German version portraits? And now I can't unsee it. Like it's now kind of made this game like I kind of was slightly open to the idea of robotic and synthetic people as a style because I think it's a novel take. I think it's got novelty to it. But now you've kind of ruined that for me, so good job. And honestly, I'm grateful for it because I genuinely needed less reasons to take interest.
Well, Kibbs, when I type CNC General's German cover, this is what I get.
All right, let's open it up because this should be in
Yep.
theory and in practice should be
yeah, when they made them like all robot, yeah.
yeah, because this is the general censored version where they look like this, where
Yeah, I
they
remember
took
the
their
censorship was very bizarre.
like they added lines to them and it just looks terrible.
Okay, I'm posting this next one just so people have a point of comparison.
Yeah, because this is what they did in general censored. It's like, oh yeah, they're all robots.
Like, this
The
doesn't make any
fucking
sense.
Germany's
Spicy
weird.
backpack versus the wheelbarrow of doom.
The wheel, yeah, they censored the suicide bomber entirely by replacing the model and the sprite.
They took away his shoes
They
entirely.
made him into
Thank
a
you
little
for the
robot.
new shoes.
But yeah, this
And then also they had different audio sounds because with the wheelbarrow of doom, it sounded like a tin can, if I remember right from what Fairman was saying.
yes, and if you kill infantry instead of them going like ah, it like if an infantryman's like get run over by a tank and makes a crunchy bone sound.
It's just it's
It
just
makes
an aluminum can
an
sound.
aluminum can like this sound. Here, let me show you. It sounds like that. Like that's what it's. People
Or
get
get
it.
a tin can next to your desk.
Yeah, it sounds like this.
Yes, it's fat.
Fatty, always drinking so fatty.
That's what it sounds like, and it just sounds dumb. It's like, well, he just got crushed like a little pop can. Oh.
Germany, why are you like this? We can't ask. Our resident German left.
Yeah,
Need
he's
to go
not here
sleep.
right now.
The
But yeah, that's
scroll up.
The
I don't know if
TLDR is
you,
their lawmakers were incredibly autistic. That's basically the TLDR.
but yeah, so
Yeah.
because of this, chat, this is the reason why when I look at
Marathon.
Marathon, I now can't unsee that.
Yeah.
And so now because she's got that she has the lines on her face and everything.
Look, that's how you know it's cyberpunky because they have stupid shit on their face.
Like now
You
I've
have
immediately
unnecessary, over-designed like machinery and cybernetics.
I can
Yeah.
never unsee that face as it's just censorship. Like the reason why they didn't have people, because there are people getting murdered horribly in the Marathon universe, isn't because it's insensitive or not insensitive. Sorry. It isn't because it's not part of their vision. It's because it's offensive to China, and so
They
they've
can't show blood.
they've
Yeah.
turned them into machines so the blood could be blue, and so there's
Instead
no
they show smoke.
there's no artistic vision in this game. Like it's just become an excuse. The reason why the guns don't look like guns is because the guns are offensive and scary.
Bungie's had a problem with gun design even going back to Halo.
Okay, maybe I was reaching too far there.
Now, what made Halo's guns authentic and feel like they could actually function is they actually consulted gunsmiths.
Yep.
Hmm.
Someone, if I remember right, unironically made a
Someone made a battle rifle, but instead of chambered in the
no.
MacGuffin 9mm, it's chambered in like 5.56.
No, I wasn't going to say that one. I was going to say someone unironically made the shotgun in CE.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
the trigger pull is ungodly heavy because
Oh,
they
yeah.
had to basically flip the mechanism upside down or the trigger group upside down. But it's like, yeah, people have made those guns.
Yeah. But yeah, I think in regards to Marathon, I just don't see a future for this game unless they add like some sort of single player campaign that's really exciting and interesting.
I would say, here's the thing, like putting all the stuff aside, I was more interested in like some of their little like trailer videos where it's like, this is this person's story in the universe. I found that more interesting than what I saw of the gameplay.
Yeah, because like I'll be real.
Like I remember like one where it's just like it's this father basically trying to get like money or something for his kid, or he's basically like grieving his kid's death or something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but it was basically like father daughter, I believe, like some story based around that. And I was more interested in that than the actual game.
Yeah, if they
And that was
added
like maybe
like
like a minute and a half clip.
a single player story and the story's got good writing and the gameplay's fun and it's maybe like co-op or single player or whatever, I would be interested. Like, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't buy a game. If it's good, it's good. But the issue is that I'm just not really interested in battle royales, to be honest. Wait. No, I'm not. Never mind. I was gonna say that one game I played, Cargo Hunters, but I'm like, that's not a battle royale game.
That's an extraction shooter. So is
Yeah.
this.
Oh, wait. I like extraction shooters. Well, I'm not interested in this because it's got PvP.
You like
No.
one extraction shooter, Kibbs.
Yeah.
I was
Cargo
saying, like,
Hunters.
people hear extraction shooters. What most people hear is Tarkov.
Like, for me, Cargo
Yes, that's
Hunters
because-
is real good, though. It's real good.
That's because people erroneously apply extraction shooters to anything where you go in and you leave. That's not quite.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, when most people hear extraction shooters, that's the first thought they have.
Which
Cargo Hunters gives heavy Stalker vibes.
Which I wanted
does.
to recommend this one to take a look at, chat. It's got a demo since the Steam Fest, if you want to try it. But I actually was blown away by how much I actually like Cargo Hunters. Like, Cargo Hunters was intense, it was dramatic, and it's PvE and single player. And it's also
Why
going to
didn't
be
you tell me about
co-op.
this when games?
Why didn't I? You weren't there. Yeah, you'd like the aesthetic of Cargo Hunters. You're a robot, and you can basically update and, like, change your arms and stuff with other pieces.
You can rip off the limbs of other bots you kill in the field and put them
Carve
on
them
you
up.
if you can't repair your own arms and legs.
As Gabe intends.
As Gabe intends. But yeah, this game is really fun, and I
The
think
devs have already said they are not doing PvP at all. They purely want it to be single player and co-op.
I
I have no idea why the trailer music is this. By the way, it's the most weird
yeah.
choice.
You know what?
It's like dance
I
music.
can appreciate the vibe they're going for here.
You should try the demo hands. I think you'd actually like this. It's very much up your interest in terms of art style. Brutalism with robots.
It's basically another attempt at Forever Winter without the awful gameplay of Forever Winter.
Oh, Forever Winter! I
water
love the
kids.
art direction of Forever Winter so
Forever
much.
Winter's gorgeous, but it's a pain
Gameplay's not
in the
nearly
ass
as
to
fun.
play.
I wouldn't say gorgeous as a.
It's gorgeous as far as like it appeals to my sense of what I like.
No,
in
I
art.
understand
it's not
completely
doing well.
what he means, because I too am in a similar mindset where I really like the aesthetic of Forever Winter. Gameplay is just,
Mhm. I like Forever Winter's art style because they're heavily inspired by Blame, and I love Blame.
The art style is so good. I love visually and artistically. I love this game.
I
But
think the biggest issue I have, like with the gameplay of Forever Winter, or Forever Winter, Neverwinter, the game wants it, like based on everything you see, to be like stealth and then only go loud if you have to. The issue is a lot of the time, if you want to make money, you just go fucking loud right off the bat.
You go in with a grenade launcher and you kill everything that moves.
the
then
vibe
you
of the
just take the
game.
most-
So one thing I'll say is that if you play this game single player, it is completely different to multiplayer. Because like I play
I know.
in single
it's
player,
just like-
it's scary and eerie, and this is one of those weird takes where I like playing games multiplayer. I enjoy the multiplayer aspect of Forever Winter, but at the same time, if you truly want to
It-
experience Forever Winter's like a vibe and how it should feel,
Yeah,
single
unironically,
player.
single player is probably, in terms of atmosphere, the strongest this game gets.
by a lot. Like single player by yourself, just play this game. Oh, they added a cool looking little map there. I want to try it again, and I'm not quite giving up on them because they haven't given up on their game. Like I always say, Chatfish, if an indie dev or devs or AA or whatever, it's AAA, I don't care. If you don't give up on your game, I won't give up on you. Just like if they don't give up on Marathon and they make it something I'm interested in, I'll give it a shot. But until it's like something I'm interested in. Right now, it's not. So I'm not particularly.
And God help you if you run into the fuck, I always forget the name of that robot.
Oh,
you know
the
the one, Chet.
dog thing.
No, that one.
The moms?
That one is technically the creepy one. You know the one.
A lot of creepy ones.
Yeah.
The mother one.
Yeah, that's the mommy one. The mommy
Yeah.
one's creepy, yeah. The mommy one and the
No, I
dog
only
one.
say that because it's at least last time I played, it didn't have all of its animations, and because of that, or not because of that, and it was also literally unkillable.
I don't think you can kill them still. They changed a lot of things in Forever Winter, have they? I noticed the reviews are actually not doing particularly well despite their changes. 44%. It's trending down pretty heavily there, which is not a good sign, mind you.
Of course, Indio immediately mommy one. Indio, you can Google's your best friend in this case. Trust
Oh
me, you'll
yeah,
find it.
there's a anime girl looking robot that kind of looks, yeah, like an anime girl looking robot that grabs you and then eats you.
Nah.
Add vor onto the things Indio likes, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, Indio. Unironically, the goal of that robot is to unironically scavenge the dead and the dying to turn them into automatons.
Let's check the discussions. I mean, few full information here. Thank you, Fun Dog. Modernized player animations. Maybe I'll come.
Yes, Mother Courage. That was her name.
Add PvP or the game will die. Like, dude. Yeah, most people
That
are
is
laughing at him.
probably like one of the worst things they could do with the game.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of the fucking people who said Monster Hunter should have PvP, and I was like, you
Oh,
think
no.
you're stupid.
Oh.
Oh
I
my
think you might
god.
be genuinely brain dead if you think that.
Yeah.
It's like the people that
Oh,
for
Forever Winter
Battlefield
with
6, it's like,
PvP, I would
just
just
make
stop.
it more like COD.
I would stop following it. Like right now, I have 51 hours and I haven't touched it in a long while because I want to let them cook for a bit before I pick up their game and play it again. And if it's better, I would love for it to be better because, man, I
You know what's
really
actually
want this
funny,
game to
though?
succeed. What?
Unironically, my new PC might actually make this game more playable for me.
You know,
Well,
the thing,
probably, yeah.
I really like PvP games, but I want it to make sense. Don't just shoehorn it into every
Yeah,
fucking
no,
thing.
unironically,
Yeah.
this game, just narratively at best, should be you and a small handful of friends scavenging a battlefield.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not you going up against other scavengers, because literally the scavengers are all like in universe. All the scavengers are in their own faction.
Yeah,
Because
they're
it's
working
like, guys,
together
we're just trying
because
to
they're fucked.
survive. Because it's basically like the honor code of like, look, don't fuck over other scavengers. That just sets a bad example.
Yep, all scavs are basically united because they're just trying to survive.
Because
Like-
they don't give a fuck about the greater war.
It's a forever war, and the only way they're going to get through this existence, their life,
It's not fucking over other scavs.
is just working together. Yeah. But yeah, Forever Winter is one of those games I do want to try again. I like Forever Winter. I just wish they'd figure out what to do with the metagame progression. Because the water mechanic is just, I don't know. Originally I was
They
like, I
changed it.
warmed up to it. I warmed up to it over time. Like, yeah, it's not so bad. And then it's like, then they kept changing it, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm at the point now where it's like, my opinion of the water mechanic, if you watch my streams, go all over the place.
I think here's the issue. I don't inherently hate the original water mechanic. Oh, I don't like it, but it's not.
It was like you can get 90 days of water and then your base is reset. And originally I was like, okay, I mean that's
The
like a
biggest
good
issue-
part of a year, I guess.
the biggest issue I had with it is that if you wanted to keep your gear, you had to constantly play. That was the biggest issue I had with it.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like the constant having to play. Doman says for $2 they also had done a hard reset for your characters. I don't mind. Honestly, the big thing is they have to get the game to a salvageable state. That's the big thing. And if the game isn't in a salvageable state, who cares about your progress if it's not worth playing? You know what I mean? Like, why bother playing it? Like, I want to actually have a reason to play the game. And if that means resetting to make it a better game, then so be it. Because in its current state, it isn't there.
The water mechanic on its face is fine. The problem is that it ticks down real time when you're not playing.
Yeah, that was the
That
biggest issue
fucking
I had. with it.
retarded.
Yeah, they
When I
got rid
came
of
up
it.
You need to beat them with a bat or something. Like, good God.
No, and the issue is like they wanted it to be like that, and it's like, okay, sure, that's your vision for the game, but it's a bad vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very bad vision.
I will say, I do like the characters and the art design a lot. The animations are
Oh yeah,
super
it's made
stuffed.
by a bunch of artists. It should be good.
I remember Old Man was my preferred character.
Old Man is because he's got great carry capacity.
Oh no, I just like the vibe of him. No, it was either Old Man or Shaman, whoever had the robot head.
Yeah, we might play this again. It's been a year, I suppose. Maybe.
Oh, hey, there's the dog.
Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah, run. The fucking dog is scary.
The puppers.
I remember all the times you ran into him. All of a sudden, you would just hear Kib screaming and eeing. Oh, hey, there's Mother Courage.
Doman says water mechanic is now for fast travel. I don't like. Honestly, I would be just cool if they removed it. Honestly, mostly because it just doesn't add anything anymore. It just doesn't have a purpose. It's like clinging onto a dead thing. Just let it go.
It feels like a chore as opposed to an actual mechanic.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that I have issue with right there. Because last time I tried playing this game, they changed the water mechanic to this, right? And you couldn't go to, like, the thing that water did is you had to have water in order to go to the other areas. And I don't like that. Because it means you have to go to, like, the beginning area, grind water.
You have to grind water just to get to the maps you want to play.
Yeah, and I'm like, no thanks. I don't feel like that. Because if it's still this mechanic, I'm not interested. I'll be real. Because I don't really like the starting level area. It's just not that interesting. I'd rather go to one of the other maps, my favorite maps. I don't really want to have to grind water so I can go to the maps I like to play on. That just isn't. It just doesn't. It just yeah. I don't wanna. Because
They're struggling to come up to realize the fact that the water mechanic just sucks.
to get to the areas you need to go through the tunnels. So you have to go to the tunnel from the hub world. You go to the tunnel to get to tunnel B, to get to tunnel C, so that you can go to the frozen swamp. Are you shitting me right now? That's fucking retarded. No wonder why it's at mixed if that's the case. Like what? You like?
Wait, so hold on. As in, you have to play mission at Tunnel A,
Yeah, because like
to do mission at Tunnel B, to do mission at Tunnel C, to do mission at Swamp, and you have to do all of that without going back to base.
is that how that works? Correct me if I'm wrong, because that sounds.
No, I don't know. That's how.
I
this
know.
is
I'm asking.
making
I'm
it
asking a Doman. Is that how that works? Because that's actually retarded. So I have to basically run for 6 hours and like stealth and sneak and squeak without getting killed to go to the frozen swamp. Which, by the way, how the game works is you go to these mission areas and then you just teleport back to base. So it's not like you have to backtrack the whole way. I have to do all that so I can go back. Like, that's stupid. I'll never want to progress in this game ever if they did that. Like, I'll never leave Ashen Mesa and mech trenches. I'll forever be stuck in
Mech
the
trenches where we basically made our billions because of a fucking gun exploit.
We found a gun exploit and it was genius.
And then I'm pretty sure they patched it.
They patched it, and now it's not genius anymore. I haven't gotten that far. Sorry. You should be sorry. Kill him, chat. And they start throwing rocks at.
I will say, just based on looking at this map, I don't think you have to actually do each mission in a row, but it's like you definitely, like, if you want to unlock the second tier of maps, you have to do Tunnel B. And if you want to do the third tier of maps, you have to do Tunnel C. And the fourth tier of maps, you have to do Tunnel D, is what it looks like. And then you just have to pay ever increasing amounts of water to go to those maps. And then heaven fucking forbid you just get unlucky and die, lose all of your good gear, and then not have the water to even go back to get your corpse.
Now, if they have it set so that you need the water to unlock the zone, and then once you have it unlocked, you own it, like, that's fine.
Okay, but then at that point, water's back to being a tedious mechanic that doesn't really do anything.
It's a progression mechanic is what it becomes. Because from a game design point, it is tedious, but it's basically like, okay, you have to get 2 water to unlock Tunnel B. Then you have to get 2 more water to get, like, the first area of mech trenches to spawn in, then 4 for the other. Like, that's not the worst. It's tedious and not good, but it's better than being like, I need to use 2 water every time I spawn there. Like, what the fuck? Because from the way I'm reading this, hold on. The way I'm reading this right now, based on what I'm seeing here, and I hope I'm wrong, you need 2 water to just get to Tunnel B. Then you need another 2 to 4 water to get to mech trenches at minimum. Just to get there.
No,
so you need
that's
6 to 4 water minimum to get to mech trenches from Tunnel B.
I don't think that's how that... what I think this is there's to get to Tunnel B, you need to pay 2 water. and then at that point you probably have it unlocked. But then to run mech trenches, because the 2 to 4, from what I remember the last time we played, different starting locations cost different amount of water on top of that. So if you want to go with the cheap option, you would go with the 2 water, because whatever entrance has 2 water. If you want to go to the good entrance, you have to pay 4 water.
See, what's dumb about the good entrance, right, is that you just spent 4 water, which means you have to go back and grind 4 more water to do that again.
Yeah, so Edelman, I'm not saying you're lying. What I'm saying is, looking at the screen that Kib says up right now,
It says 2
there's
water
literally
right
2
there.
water next to Tunnel B,
Yeah.
and then 6 water next to Tunnel C, and 9 water next to Tunnel D.
And I'm thinking
That's
about
what
this
I'm
from
saying.
like a mental psychology standpoint of attrition of warfare in my brain. And I'm just thinking about how much I will hate the game by the time I want to try the underground cemetery. By the time I get there, I just blow my brains out. I get there, here's what happens, right? Because this can happen in the game. I get there, it's nighttime, so it's like, oh my god, this whole run is fucked. So now it's just an escape mission. So I spend
Oh no, and even
9
better,
water to get there, or 11 water just to spawn there. To be like, well,
and
I
even
gotta do it
better,
again.
Kibs, if it's a Mother Courage variant of the map, a lot of the stuff on the map isn't even there normally.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, I spend 12 water to go to the underground cemetery. I go there, it's night, and Mother Courage is out. And now it's like, I just burned 12 water to do nothing but run off the map. Assuming I don't get caught by Mother Courage and gobbled up as a snack. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why would you want to play that? Mama, answer.
Gets in, he says, if you start in A, it costs nothing. The water cost is where you want to start. I don't know. I haven't played since the initial launch, so I couldn't tell you any. All I know of the water was back when it started, and you had to hoard it, otherwise your base blew up.
And then you literally lost all of your gear.
Yep, and then I just had no interest to go back. I was like, well, I'm not playing a game that.
This is unironically
Dedicate
becoming
your
a side
life to
job.
me. Dedicate your life
Yeah,
to
no
me.
thanks.
I'm not playing Eve, and even with Eve, you had to pay to play it.
Oh. Either way.
But we'll see if they ever recover from it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it is good. We'll try it. We may try it next week sometime when I find some time to play it again. Dust off the old thumbnail. But either way, I think it is an apt...
Did you go over the New York suing Valve?
Oh, you didn't.
We didn't. No, we didn't we?
Okay. Did you?
I talked about it for a second. Because I asked, is this New York suing Valve? Is what I asked, and you said no.
Put in Discord, didn't you?
It's above Indio's woman Halo picture.
Jesus. All right,
the important part is so if you scroll all the way down, what does that last paragraph say?
Although this lawsuit is about loot boxes and illegal gambling, the Office of the Attorney General also attempts to link Valve's promotion of games that glorify violence and guns helps fuel the dangerous epidemic of gun violence. They're doing it again.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
That's the important part.
God.
The reason I brought it up,
Yeah,
because
we're back,
the rest
baby.
of the lawsuit is bunk.
Superfluous. It's superfluous.
Yes.
Like, this is the actual reason they're doing
Yes,
it.
that last paragraph is the reason.
It's literally we're going back to the 2000s, and where they're saying violent video games create actual violence is unironically what they're trying to argue.
Correct.
These people just cannot stop trying to. What's the word I'm thinking of? They're trying to get Valve in their pockets.
And here's the issue. Anytime this gets brought up in court, it also gets brought up in court. Okay, so why does violent literature not create violence? Why do violent movies not create violence? And that is always where this is going to stall out. And then they try to jump through so many hoops trying to argue that video games are different than any other type of media.
When it's not. It's just the most popular type of media, but guess what? It's media nonetheless. There is This has been so debunked so many times. It is honestly exhausting. And we all know
this is no, this is not border. This is lawfare. Is what this is.
Yes.
Yep.
It's like this has been honestly. I'm trying to think of words to sum up how exhausting that is. We all know the real reason why they keep doing this lawfare is because
They
Va-
want money. That's the actual reason.
Yeah, they want lobbying money. Means bribe. They want to be bribed under the guise of lobbying money. They want political influence. That is to say, they want to try and force Valve into the political influence sphere and bring into the culture war. When Valve, by and large, just sits on its ass and beats a digital storefront as it should be, and as what will likely happen again, Gabe is gonna sit on his ass, give it the middle finger, and going, let's go on. I will happily squeeze you for lawsuit money.
Yep, that's just what I wanted to highlight. The rest of it, like their actual filings and stuff, are all bunk. It's not gonna go anywhere. It was just that last little bit that
It's really just to try to scare Valve. But here's the issue: Gabe has been doing this a while, and these arguments have literally been used against Valve before, and he's
Mhm.
just going to point to those old cases and say, "What's changed?"
Yeah. And it's gonna be that old meme of Gabe and his golden diamond teeth and golden diamond knuckles going,
Game does nothing and wins is what it's going to be.
yes.
Yeah. Honestly, I
That said, though, people
imagine
should
this
still
is
call them
being
out for it.
pushed by somebody else with other there's a bigger reason for this. They were picking at them way too
Without
much.
going into politics too much, a big part of it is also a lot of like gun stuff has been struck down, like gun control stuff in the last
So
couple
they're
years.
trying to do any other weasel around
Yes.
shit to
They're
do
trying to
something.
attack somebody. They're gonna find they're gonna find a victory, and they're gonna basically find it by basically picking on somebody who can't defend themselves, like the sick fucks they are. Yep, that's how that works.
Yeah. Except Valve can't defend themselves in court. That is honestly not a fight you want to do.
Valve will be able to beat that, but it's like, okay, it just means that they're gonna move on to some poor fuck somewhere else to go bully.
Yeah, and Valve is also very good at getting its lawsuit money back. So,
Oh yeah, because that's honestly because they want to make sure that
it's a good to send a
don't-
message.
Yes, they don't want people to think, oh, like you can just sue Valve without any like problem. It's like no, they will go after you for the frivolous lawsuit.
They should.
Yeah.
That's wise. Like if somebody sues Valve and then they cause them to take damages because they had to like pay for legal stuff, sue them for damages because now they've like fucked you. Like it's like you're trying to drag our name through the mud and now you get the same thing. Yeah, no. Like honestly, fuck these people for doing that. And fuck whoever is pushing this kind of shit because it's one of those things where it's like,
Again, like Morty said, I have some other ideas as to why this is happening, but that's Rule 6 stuff.
Meanwhile, Tim Sweeney comes into the field and is like, "It was all me,
Tim Sweeney from downtown fucking destroys Epic.
Was like, wait, oh fuck, that's my company.
Yes, Tim Sweeney, the one that had to settle with that. I think if I remember, did a settlement with Google where, yeah, he's not allowed to say bad things about Google in the Android App Store anymore.
But yeah, that was all. That was the rest
Oh
of
my
the stuff
God.
I had. Just that last paragraph is what got me when I was reading
It's
through it.
the ODR of we're back to the 2000s era rhetoric for video games.
Yeah,
Apparently.
late 90s, early 2000s.
Except now there's precedent of you pull this stuff. Companies are very good at going and are looking at that precedent, going, "Are you really sure you want to do this?"
It's really just precedent looking at other cases and just pointing to them and what are we saying? What's different?
What's changed?
Yeah, and judges, well, unless you have some very good evidence, good luck trying to get over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, either way, I think that wraps up today's breaking news on Fireside Chat. So, we will see you, Chatfishers, in the Discord server. And thank you for your generous donations. And we did make the weekly. Hans swooped in last minute. What did you buy, Hans?
You're welcome. India can do his pinup now.
Indio, be sure to thank Hans. Also, Vulpus, special shout out, donated 100 buckos or so. And it was because Patreon.
Fucky banking stuff.
Yeah, fucky wucky stuff. So
Fucky
thank
wucky
you,
backend
Vulpus,
stuff.
for your generous donation. We very much appreciate it quite a bit. Thank you all, and we will see you in tomorrow's stream chat. Until tomorrow.